look up? Everybody's
I'm
good?
not.
They've got,
It did not work now this time. When I did it at home, it worked, and now here it says mobile phone number. So do you want me to write mobile phone number?
do you
So what we'll do is there's two of us, which is actually really nice, and we can do that. So if you raise your hand, we'll someone will, Dot or I will try to come around and help you. If it's a question for the group, then yeah, we'll see if we can turn these down a little bit. So the question is, what is Google Apps? Well, first of all, Dot and I are from FireLogic. We're a technology consulting firm out of Park Ridge. We do all types of things, computer repair, all kinds of consulting for residential and business folks. And Dot and I are both Google certified trainers, which means we pass a series of tests and went through an application process with Google. We like to think that we're highly trained and skilled. There's not a ton of people who have this certification, so we're pretty proud of that. But if you have a business or have a need for any of the Google products, you can always sign up for a free Gmail account. And we're going to show you everything you can pretty much do in Gmail. You could also do with Google Apps, which is the paid version of Google. It's like a business version of Gmail. And it has all the same apps, but you obviously get more advanced features, I guess, for business use with the actual Google Apps subscription. And it's actually very inexpensive. If you run a business and you're paying consultants to run an Exchange server, or you're on AOL Mail, or you're doing something like that, Google's very competitive. It's about, if you sign up for a year subscription, it's $50 a year to Google per person in your business. So when you start to compare that against running and maintaining servers, if you're in a business situation, it becomes very, very competitive to do that. So we're going to go ahead and I'll give you, we got some videos here. We'll try not to bore you with too many videos, but they're all very short. And it'll give us an idea.
Google Apps is a suite of web-based tools that includes Gmail for Business, Google Calendar, Google Docs, and Google Science, as well as many other apps that help you run your business more productively and efficiently. No matter where you are, your important work information and files will always be at your fingertips. Access your business email, calendar, docs, and more from any web-enabled device, including your PC, mobile phone, and tablet. Gone are the days of expensive hardware, downloads, and costly upgrades. You access your Google Apps straight from the web, and your business tools are always up to date with the newest features. Gmail gives you professional email, customized just for your company. Each employee gets an email address at yourcompany.com, so your outbound messages look more professional and you can build an identity with customers. Gmail comes with great features to help you save time and stay organized. You can search for emails with Google-powered search. You can also star and sort important messages with labels, which are like folders, to help keep track of the messages that matter. Gmail's industry-leading spam filtering helps your inbox stay clean and relevant. And with 25 gigabytes of email storage per person, you'll never have to worry about deleting an email. After all this, Gmail is more than just email. Instant message, voice chat, and video chat, even make phone calls straight from Gmail. So in one place, you have everything you need to communicate and work together. Google Calendar saves you time and energy with a calendaring solution that is fast, intuitive, and easy to use. Scheduling a meeting with more than a few people can often be difficult. With Google Calendar, you can overlay and view your colleagues' calendars to quickly find a time that works for everyone. You and your teammates can also create group calendars, so you can each share, edit, and add events to the same calendar and always be on the same page. Feel free to make events private, share with individuals and groups, or even share your calendar publicly so your business can easily communicate with customers and external groups. Google Docs brings you online documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and web forms. You can easily create, upload, and edit your online docs, and sharing is easy. Quickly share with individuals, teams, or even people outside your business. It's easy to change and manage privacy settings whenever you'd like. With real-time collaboration, you and your colleagues can work together on the same document at the same time and actually see changes being made as they happen. comment, and discuss on the right-hand side of the document as if you were in the same room as your colleagues. This also means you never have to worry about having multiple versions of the same document floating around. Everyone accesses the most updated version all the time, and older versions are kept on record in a revision history. You can also use Google Docs to upload and store other file formats. It's like your personal filing cabinet. And you can use it to store pictures, PDFs, even videos you can play straight from Docs. Google Sites allows you to easily build internal websites to organize and share your business information. Centralize important documents, calendars, and other resources on a company intranet, or keep teams organized on a project site with team resources, contact information, and more. Creating a site doesn't require any knowledge of coding or HTML. It's as easy as editing a document. Gmail, Calendar, Docs, and Sites make up the core of the Google Apps Suite and cost just $5 per user per month. That's $5 for a whole lot of productivity. See for yourself. Sign up for a free 30-day trial and start using Google Apps for Business today.
Okay, so that gives you an overview of the entire Google Suite. Now we're just going to be covering the Google Docs portion today. But as you can see, it's an integrated solution. So whether you're using just the personal Gmail account, you still have access to all of these features. And if you're a small business and just one person or just a couple of people, you can still use a lot of these features to your advantage. It's just not all tightly integrated like it would be in a paid-for Google Apps account. So that said, everyone's, I think, signed in and with their accounts. First thing we're going to cover is Google Drive. And what Google Drive is anyone familiar with like online storage, like a Dropbox or a Box account? Okay, nowadays instead of carrying the old floppy disks or even a flash drive, because we're pretty much connected to the internet at most places, there's a lot of online storage. So Google Drive is your online storage for your Google account. So what that means is everything you keep in your docs will be stored in Google Drive. So, and you can also sync Google Drive with your laptop or desktop computer, so you can keep your files locally, because in order for Gmail and Google to work, you have to be online, obviously, which many years ago that was more of a concern than it is today, because today we're a lot more connected. But there is some functionality for you to work offline. Say you're on a laptop in an airport, you don't have internet access, you can still work on your Google Docs if you have the Google Drive installed on your laptop. So we're going to start off with...
So you have to have Google Drive on your laptop?
If you want to work offline. You do not need to have Google Drive installed on your laptop to use Google Docs. So it's an add-on feature that, for example, I use it. It just keeps a local copy of all of your documents on your computer as well as on the web. And what happens is when you update one, it updates the other. So you're always in sync. So if you're offline someplace, you still have access to your existing documents.
So I can go ahead and do information on those documents.
Right.
As soon as I come into my internet that it recognizes, it synchronizes it.
Absolutely. So, because there is some concern there, for folks that are using Google Apps when they're offline. So,
Does that cost $5 a month? Is that what?
Well, the Gmail account is free if you go with the personal one. If you go with the business account, it's $5 a month. I think if you do a yearly subscription, if they haven't changed it, it was $50 a year. So if you pay a year in advance, you save $10.
Do you have to pay for the Google Drive?
Not separately. It's all included.
And if you don't pay, then you can't use it?
Not the.
Not for a free
There's
trial.
two versions. There's the free version for personal use. That's Gmail.
Right, but I'm talking about Google Drive.
You get Google Drive with the personal account or the business account.
Okay.
Everything we're going to show you
Okay.
is you'll get with your personal account. The advantage with the business account is you can have multiple email addresses for your company.
Okay.
So for example, FireLogic, we use Google Apps. That is our software, that is our email and software suite. So instead of using Microsoft Office, we're a Google Apps company. So all of our email, everything you see on the web from us, that's all Google based. So I'll just give you an overview of Drive, just a little quick video, and then we'll dive into some of the. Whoops. Okay, so the important things to keep in mind with the Google Drive is that it's all online. Okay, you don't have to do the computer part, you can do that. With the Google Apps, the main thing is we can share. We can, I can create a document and Adad and I can work on it. That's how we were working on this outline. We were each in our own house at the same time, separate times, we're each editing this document, and it's all shared in Drive. So let me go ahead and show you Google Drive. I've got a test account here, and notice when you log in, across the top you'll see your menu bar for all your. Oops, let me get started again. Maybe not. So you'll see your menu bar up here, and one of the links is Google Drive. So when you click on this, you'll get a view of your Drive. And a couple of things here, I like to just kind of go over the landscape. What we have here on the left-hand side is sort of our menu. Red is important, okay? So what you see highlighted in red is either your location where you are in Google Apps, and also you'll see a red buttons. Those are action buttons. So not all the buttons are red, but that usually is a key place on that page for Google. So you'll see usually 2 or 3 things highlighted in red. So it's telling me I'm in Google Drive. Here's where I go to create my new documents, which we're covering today. And here's my location in Drive. So Drive is kind of split up into 2 basic parts. There's my Drive, which if I click on this, I see down here all of my files that I have in my Drive. And then if I click on Shared with Me, these are files that someone else has created and shared them with me so that I can either view them or work on them. So we're going to talk a little bit more about sharing. Sharing is really powerful. Google's all about collaboration. So gone are the days where I create a Word document and then I have to email it to Adad. Adad works on it. He has to email it back to me, and maybe in the meantime I worked on my Word version of Word document. Now we have 2 different versions, or we've done it 5 times, then we have 5 different versions. So when you collaborate online, when he makes changes, I see them almost instantaneously, and vice versa. Yes?
If you're a Microsoft Office person that wants to convert to this, can you integrate what you have in Microsoft Office to this?
Yes.
Absolutely. Google does a really good job of making it across the board. Since everything is web-based, all of the software is on there, so you don't need to have any sort of operating system, any drivers, nothing. Okay? So you can upload almost any type of file into your Drive, and it'll live as, if you want it to live as a Microsoft Word document, you can leave it there as a Microsoft Word document. If you wanted to convert it to a Google Doc, you can convert it as a Google Doc.
And I'm actually gonna,
You don't have to have it in both places, you
But
just
you
have it
can.
here. You can if you want to, yes.
Sure.
So you're saying if I don't have Office in my computer at home, but I had Office at work, and I sent down a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet to here, and then I pull it up from my home computer, I can get it?
well, you'd have to convert it to the Google
Oh, Google
format.
Docs in order to get,
So
okay.
Google has its own format, but it's very good at converting back and forth between the two, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So right here, my drive, all the files I've created, shared with me, those are files people shared with me. I can take these files and move them into my drive because I can't really organize shared with me. These are, I'm just going to see a whole list of files as I go along in time. But with my drive, I can organize things, set up folders, and organize things just as you would on your own computer with, say, Microsoft Office or any other program. Then there's some special labels. We have starred. I think they showed that. You can see these little stars here. It's just stars, just a quick way of indicating that a file is important for whatever reason you choose. So if I star something and then I click on it, let's say I just star this one folder here. When I click on starred, then it's going to show me anything that's starred. So out of all my files, if I star 10 of them, when I click starred, I see that. When I click on recent files, I'll see all the files that I've worked on recently. Notice that the icons have different meanings. The W is a Microsoft Word document. That means it's in Word document format. These are Google Docs formats, sort of the equivalent to Microsoft Word. And down here we have spreadsheets and drawings. So each icon has a different meaning to show you what file type it is. So if it's Excel, it'll be green. Well, if it's the Google version of Excel, which is called spreadsheet, it'll be green. If it's a Microsoft Word document, it'll be W. And then we have under more, we have some other options like trash and all items, and just find, just different ways of finding things. If I want to download Google Drive, it's really easy. It's right here for me. And what's real important in all of the Google apps, Gmail, Calendar, Drive, you have your Google search bar up here. Works on the same technology as the Google website, except for now it's searching my documents. So I know there's, this is a test account, so I don't know what all these files are, but I notice several files are called tests. So as I start to type, notice that the autocomplete is popping up all the documents. In this case, this is a folder icon. The little person in there means that it's shared. That means I've shared it with somebody else. So it gives you a lot of good visual representation of what's going on. So just really quickly, I can see the various files that meet my search criteria. If for some reason I'm still having problems finding my files, I can click on the little down arrow to the right on the search bar, and now I have all of these different options. So I can search for folders, I can search for specific file types. So if I only want to search for PDF documents, I just click on PDF documents. I can put in my search criteria test, click on PDF documents, and it's going to find all PDF documents with the word test in them. Also, I can search by visibility. So those are sharing options. So if I shared files only with FireLogic, if I search for that, then it's only going to pull up files that are shared with FireLogic. And then ownership. So if I own them, or if someone shared them with me, I wouldn't be the owner. And then files opened by me, because sometimes people share stuff with you and you never get around to it. So that's sort of one of the blessings and curses of email and modern technology, is everyone, hey Mike, can you do this? Well, everyone can't ask me to do everything all at once. So sometimes, things get a little filled up in your inbox or in your docs, so you can, if you know, hey, I know I've opened that file before, I just can't remember the name or something about it, you can also search by that. So it just gives you a lot of different options. As we continue to look at the landscape, I notice there's checkboxes here, so I can check the documents in my drive, and then I can notice a few more options have popped up for me. So if I click on this is sharing, And what's really nice is once you kind of learn how to do the sharing, whether it's in Google Drive or Google Apps, the Google Docs. And when I say Docs, it's kind of, you got to keep in mind there's a document format, which is like Word, but Google Docs also is generic for all the various docs types like documents, spreadsheets, drawings, forms, all the various things that we're going to cover this morning. So
when we share that with someone else, they also have to have the Google Docs.
they'll have to have a Google.
Downloaded also, right?
They'll have to have a Google account.
Yeah.
Correct. So in a business situation where you have a company and you're paying for the Google Docs, all your employees will have accounts. If you're in a personal situation and you want to share it with a partner or a friend or a family member, I mean, these are great products even for managing your family business, if you will. Then if different individuals in your family have the Google Apps, I do this with my kids all the time. Hey, when you're writing your paper, create it in Google Docs and share it with me if you want me to look at it, because I'm not always there every moment, but I'm usually connected, and it's usually, Dad, I got 5 minutes, before my paper's due. Can you take a look at this paragraph or something? Okay, well, share it with me. If we're 40 miles away, that's really not possible, or if they have to email it to me and I got to download it, look at it, fix it, or make suggestions and email it back, that just takes forever and is not very practical. So yeah, whoever you add in here, and what you do is you add people by email address. So right now it tells me, and everything works online on the web, so think of links, just like you think of web pages. So here is my link to this document. Now you're never going to remember that, but and most of the time you're never going to type that in. You're going to send it to someone, they're going to be able to click on a link, or they're going to get an email that says here's the file. You're never going to have to go, okay, type in docs.google. It's not going to happen. So don't let this long email address scare you. It's just a way that we can share this specific document. Yes?
I have a question in regards to Google Docs. You had mentioned that it can store your pictures in there.
Yep.
Is there a size limitation?
I don't remember the exact size.
25 gigs.
Well, you have 5 gigabytes of storage for free.
Yeah.
That comes with your account. So if it's a personal account, you get free 5 gigs. If it's a business account, you get 5 gigs. Of course, it's Google. You can always pay for more, right? So that's always an option. So, and I'm going to talk a little bit about file types that you can upload and share and how that affects your storage limit. So, so this is the link. This is who has access. So right now I'm signed in as John Smith. That's our test account. So I have access. This document is private, so only the people listed below can have access. So if I want to share this with, let's say, my real FireLogic account, I can start to type my name, and look, it makes it easy, autofill. So as soon as I start to type my name, it recognizes me because I'm part of the group. So I can easily add myself to this document, and I can change the editing settings. So if I want to share a proposal with a group of people, but I don't want them to go in and change it, I just want them to comment, I can just simply, I can give them full edit rights. I can give them rights just to comment. So then there's a space in there where they could just go and comment like, hey Mike, I think you're way off. You're too high, you're too low, you're not enough hours, whatever about the proposal, but they can't change the actual proposal itself. Or I can give them just view rights where they'd only be able to view it. So, yes, sir.
Contacts that you add, do they have to be in your contact list or anyone with a Gmail account?
Well, you can add anyone with a Gmail account, or you can even send it. If I don't know what your account is, let's just say you have an email address, I can send it to you, and you would get an email, and if you don't have an account, then you'd be prompted to create one when you try to log in to access that document. But if someone's in your contact list, or if it's in the corporate or business environment, it'll pull from the company database. So yeah, so I can add that in, I can change the rights. In this case, I'm just going to leave it as edit. If I want to, I can add a message. Hey Mike, look at this right away. I need to get back to the client tomorrow. Okay, so I can add a message. I don't have to. And then there's lots of other little features here.
I have a question. You're sending it to your contact is not a Gmail account.
Well, here's the
Their
thing.
account.
Good question. The personal account is always going to have gmail.com. So if you sign up for a free account, you're at gmail.com. One of the advantages to going to the business account, the paid for account, is you get your company name.
Oh,
So we're FireLogic, so our email address is at firelogic.net.
okay.
So therefore, because you couldn't have all businesses, I mean, in Google Apps is used in schools, universities, by government agencies, by large corporations, by small businesses. I mean, it's really
So
growing.
you can set up a web page through Google also?
Yeah, that's
Actually,
not part.
That's another.
That's not part of this class.
Oh, I know, I just.
But they've really thought this through. It's a well integrated solution. So this is not, small time thing here.
What we're doing right now is just one part out of many different parts. And we're not gonna get even close to covering all of it. So Google right now, what we're gonna show you today is just Drive and Docs. That's it. Everything else because they've got sites, they've got phone, if you wanted a business phone, I have 2 lines that come to my cell phone. If you call the phone number that I have on my business card, it'll come to my cell phone. I also have a personal phone that I give out to all my friends. Yeah? So, I mean, Google right now is the giant of giants. Right now, what we're doing, what we're showing you, there's several things that are kind of consistent. There's a thread that goes through it. One of them is the search. The other thing is the share, which is what we're doing right now. Yes.
Who are your lesser competitors, so I can see, what do you compare it to?
Well, we're not Google.
Yeah.
I mean, we're an independent company.
They're certified.
No, it's a Google.
And we support any
Not
platform.
the
Microsoft also has a similar product called Office 365, which is if you're a big Microsoft company already, or a lot of organizations are heavily invested in Microsoft, that's fine. They have a competing product as well. We use it for our business. We feel like it's a better product. However, if you called us and said, "Hey, Mike, we need help with our Office 365 integration," we'd be happy to help you with that. I mean, let's be honest. There's no one product that's perfect for everybody out there. What's really nice about this is it is very inexpensive for the business user. It's free for the home user, and it's very, very powerful. And it's actually, everything you see here is also available free for schools and certain nonprofit organizations. So depending on where you fall, you might be able to get the full suite of applications at the business level for free. But they don't. It's not free for business, and it's not free for most government agencies and that sort of thing. So, because obviously it costs a lot of money to develop and maintain all of these features. So, moving right along here, some other sharing features, and I don't want to get too far into the weeds. You have total control when it comes to security. You have control over who sees your document and what level of access they have. So, another way we can share documents is let's say someone doesn't have a Gmail account and they told you, "I don't want to have a Gmail account, but I want to see your document." So you can make this public on the web. So what that does is now you got to be careful, obviously. You don't want to put your HR folder in there and then make your HR folder public on the web, right, with all the personal information. But let's say it's like this document that I created, that Adad and I created the outline for the class, that I created a link public on the web. That way I can just share the link with you, and then you can access it. I don't have to worry about whether or not you have an account, whether or not I added your specific email address. You just go to the link and you have rights to it. So that's like everybody has rights. Then there's anyone with the link. So instead of adding Adad individually by email, I could just click anyone with a link and send him the link. So if you don't have the link, you can't get to it because it's not public on the web. You can't search for it and find it. But Adad can get to it because he has the direct link to it. He could forward that on to colleagues or friends or whatever. As long as they have the link, they can get to it. I can share it with everyone at FireLogic. So again, you won't have this option in the personal Gmail because you're not part of a business. But if I just want everyone at FireLogic to be able to find it, I can check this option. I can check people at FireLogic with the link, so therefore if I send you the link and Adad the link, only Adad can get it because he has to be signed into his FireLogic account. So, and then of course private means only I see it plus anyone who I've specifically shared it with by email address. So in that case, when I share it by email address, once I hit share and save, you'll notice that it adds me here. It gives me my rights. So if I want to go back later, I can say, you know what? I don't want everyone to be able to edit that because people are making crazy edits. I'm going to go back and change that to view only. And I can do that right here from this box. I can hit the X. Your access is gone. So employee leaves the company, boom, access is gone. I just hit the X. So it gives you complete control over it. And what's really nice about it is, you have a lot of security with that.
Yes.
Is there a help button or something when you're confused? Clicks help and it explains something.
A lot of times you'll see little question marks or help options. Here's the little gear icon is for settings. I can go there to help. I can also just open up a web browser and say,
But I mean, if you're in a step in the process and you're not quite sure if it's right or not, you need more explanation, can you get help at that point? Rather than
in some places you can. In some places you'll see a little option. At this juncture I didn't see, oops, I'm in the wrong. I gotta keep track of my accounts here.
Well, here's the thing with Google though. Yeah, you have an integrated help, so that'll take you to tutorials. There are certain places they kind of pepper them inside their product. But the reason they don't put it all across the board is because they are Google. They have all of the information. I mean, they're web-based completely. So everything in terms of like YouTube, the video uploading thing, they own that. Google search, okay? You can if you need something done, if you need an advanced tutorial from start to finish, go into YouTube, type in the question that you want, it'll give you a video. There's maybe even 10 or 12 videos of the version of that part of Google Apps that you've got. Most of the videos that we just showed you at the beginning are YouTube videos. Okay? So if you need help at a certain point, you don't know what you're doing, open up another tab and search for it in Google.
Yeah, so just by searching Google Docs sharing, number one popped right up, how to share, and this will go through and tell you all the things that I just showed you. And there's links to further information. So you don't need a manual at home. And a lot of times these are linked actually from within the product, but not always, as Adad was saying. There are other sites too. I mean, you can just go to the Google Help homepage and everything is sort of linked from there. Someplace, I don't know if I put it, I don't know if I put it down on the sheet or not. I don't think I did. But if you want to write it down, learn.googleapps.com. And there are quite a few Google-based websites out there that will help you. This is a good one. It's all about kind of getting started with a Google Apps account. Now, if you have Gmail, the personal version, most of this applies to that as well, except for some of the built-in business features that you don't get. But this is where they have a lot of videos. That's where we kind of found a lot of the videos that we're going to show you today. They're just quick, real to the point videos. And then there's usually links to deeper information. So this is a good website, learn.googleapps.com. So I want to keep going here so we don't, trying to answer all your questions, but we also want to keep moving. So that's sharing. And once you learn how to share in one Google app, like Drive or Google Docs or Google Spreadsheet, it's almost exactly the same across the board. Sometimes there are slight variations depending on options, like the sharing options for Google Sites is a little bit different just because the product is a little bit different than what you might do in Google Drive. Here's my organized folder. So if I click this, you can see I have, it pops up a little window, so I can create new folders, I can drag and drop files, and I can organize things in my Google Drive. What's really nice is I can also do that right from here. So notice that right now I'm looking at my recent documents because that's in red. So sometimes I don't see what I think I'm going to see because I'm not where I thought I was. So I'm going to click on my drive. I only have one folder there right now, but I can click create folder. And I'm going to call it training. And now notice that I'm here in my drive, so put the training folder underneath it. If I click on training, now notice I'm looking in the training folder. I don't have anything here yet. I haven't put anything there. So if I now notice I get a little drop down area. I can do the same sort of things here. I can share it, I can star it, I can organize it, I can create a new folder. This is just another way of doing it, what I did just a moment ago. I can create a folder that says help docs. I'm just making things up. So now notice that because I was highlighted in red there, then I now have a subfolder. So if I would have been up here when I created help docs, it would have been at this level, but now this folder is actually in here. I can drag and drop. One second, I'll get to your question in just a second. So now I have these documents that were shared with me. I can drag them and drop them just like you could on your computer if you're using your computer software. And now I just dragged and dropped that file right in there. I can also use the organize button to move things around. Oops, that's a new folder icon. So question back there?
I was wondering where the organize, so that's the organize button, that file right up on top there?
The little plus indicates that it's a new folder. Sometimes things pop up and disappear based on your choices. Notice when I select an object, I get some different icons on the top.
But was there an organize tab or?
That's just the plain looking folder.
Oh, okay.
And usually when you point to an object, a button or something, it'll tell you what the purpose of that button is for. So moving right along, I can organize, I can remove a file. If I remove it, it goes into my trash, which I find under more. And the thing is, if I put it in trash, it's kind of like the recycling bin on your computer. It stays there until you delete it from your trash. I don't recommend using your trash as a storage location, because if you're using email, it gets deleted automatically after 30 days. But in Google Drive, it'll stay there until you actually empty your trash, just like on your computer. So sometimes I personally have never come close to reaching the storage limits for my Google Drive on any of my Google accounts, and I've had my personal Google account for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years. I can't even remember how long I've had it. I was an early adopter, and I still am nowhere close to using all of my space. But some people might. So if you're running out of space, you might want to go to your trash and look in your trash to see what you should remove. Because if you had, let's say, a lot of picture files that you removed, if they're sitting in your trash, it's counting against your storage space until you actually delete it out of your trash. So another option is the preview. So it's probably a bad case. So if I have a file checked and I click preview, it's going to give me a preview of that file right there. So if I have some files, I'm not really quite sure which one I'm looking for, I can always just do a quick preview to see what it is I'm looking for, and then I have more options. So under more, I can do any of these things. I can make a copy, I can download it. Now notice this is a Microsoft Word document, so I cannot, in Word format, online, I cannot edit it, because this is not Microsoft Word, this is Google Docs. So I may have Microsoft Word on my computer, in which case if I download it, I can now edit it. And the reason why you might want to do that is, as good as Google Docs is, and I love it and use it all the time, it just doesn't do everything. So sometimes if I have a highly formatted document, maybe I'm working on a book or on a real detailed proposal or something like that, and I have very specialized formatting, If I have it in Word format and I convert it to Google Docs, I might lose some of that formatting. And if you've used software for a long time and you go between, I was using WordPerfect and I want to open it in Word, a lot of times you could do that, right? Or some of these other programs, but the risk is when you go between versions, sometimes you lose formatting. So our policy, the way we work, is that we try to work everything in Google Docs, just because it's collaborative, it's all online, we can access it from anywhere. Try to avoid that happening in the first place, because Word is pretty good. I mean, Google Docs is pretty good, and we're going to cover that, so maybe I won't go into it as much. But it doesn't have the history. I mean, how long has Microsoft Word been around? And it's been developed over decades, really. And it has a lot of features that Google just hasn't either integrated yet, or just decided they don't want to integrate it, because the power of Google is not so much in all the bells and whistles you get with Word, it's with collaboration and sharing and access. So they have a little bit different strategy. So sometimes you may need a different product, and that's just the way it is with anything on a computer. Yes, sir.
I realize that everything's web-based, but let's say someone that I'm working with has an app, they have a Gmail account, and I'm working in a Word document. Does it all automatically?
Yep, not an issue. Because the Google Docs format works across platform. It'll work on a PC, a Mac, a Linux computer, anywhere where you can log on to your account through an internet web browser. It doesn't matter what it is. We have Chromebooks, which is a new thing, and it's very different than any other computer in that it doesn't have an operating system per se. It does, but you don't have to worry about it. It's not Mac, it's not Linux, it's not Windows, it's none of those. It has its own little system, and basically what you get is a web browser. So Google has said, hey, we have everything in the web. We don't need to run Windows updates and to do all these other things. So it really lowers your total cost of ownership. But again, because it's all web-based, you can't run Microsoft Office on it, and you can't do certain things that you might do on a full-blown computer. You couldn't run QuickBooks. If you have QuickBooks online and you can access it online,
Here's one of the selling points, one of the really cool things, and I just want to interject with this Chromebook. Again, like he said, it's all web-based, right? So it's all just Chrome, basically what you're using right there on your computers. Now, if any of you restart your computer, I would dare you to race me. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to turn it off. It's off. I'm going to turn it up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's on. See how fast that was? Because everything is web-based, it doesn't need to store anything. So everything's online. All it needs to do is run the Chrome program, and that's it. I log in with my username and password, it's done.
Right. So we're not here to sell Chromebooks, but
How much does it cost?
the least expensive version they have now is, I would recommend the Samsung. There's a couple different brands. Samsung is $250.
Oh, that's so much better than the Apple thing that you want.
And they do have other versions. I think this one is the 400, 450 version. Yes, sir.
So this concept of being on the web is what they call the cloud, right?
Yep, you got it. It's in the cloud. And like I said before, you do have some offline options, because there are going to be times when you just can't connect. Now, you won't have your all of your tools available to you when you're offline, but you could, if you do use offline features, you can get to your documents offline. But it's not, you are limited. I'm not going to try to
If
keep
you had some kind of industry-specific software you use in your job or something, is that outside of this?
Yeah, it would be outside. So if you use QuickBooks, if you use, I don't know, some sort of any kind of software. I mean, let's not bring the Chromebook into it, but yeah, that would be all separate. So you'd still do what you do on your computer, but this is just going to be your email, your documents, your online storage. You could do websites. You could still hire someone to do your website. You don't have to
bring in
use
data from, say, QuickBooks and drop it in here and share it.
Yeah, like with QuickBooks, you can usually
Spreadsheets.
export stuff in Excel format. And let me just show you, I'm going maybe a little bit longer than I wanted to on this, which is okay, because there are a lot of great questions. But let me just kind of barrel through some of the last things so we can move on to docs, because I think a lot of these questions we'll get to here. So moving across here in my landscape, I have my sorting options. So I can, obviously you can see this, so last edited by me. It just resorts the way I see my documents on the screen. One important thing is quota used. Okay, so quota is how much storage space I'm using. I get 5 gigs for free, right, or included with my account. It's not really free if you're paying for it, right? But it's included with your account. Now notice here, so it's sorting by quota used by the biggest file sizes first. So notice only 2 have numbers. Google Docs in their native format does not count against your 5 gigabyte storage space. So if you have Google Spreadsheets, Google Docs, Google Drawing, Google Presentations, they don't even count that. So only thing that counts against your 5 gigabytes is things that you have stored in Word document. You can upload any kind of file type. You can upload pictures, you can upload movies, you can even some proprietary, you can upload a QuickBook file if you wanted to. Now you wouldn't be able to open it and use it in Google Docs, but let's say you did a backup and you wanted to store it. If it's 10 megabytes, then it would use 10 megabytes of your storage. So, and this is a helpful tool if you sort by quota used. Notice the red, this is how I'm looking at my data. So if I sort by quota used, because if I'm getting close to my 5 gigs, I might look and find, oh, I created a movie file and it's 300 megabytes. Like I'm recording this, what we're talking about on Camtasia, right? So if I uploaded that to Google, it's probably going to be 300, 400, 500 megabytes. That would count against my storage space. Maybe later I decide I'm going to keep it someplace else or I don't need it anymore. I can remove it for my account. So that's why you might want to go by quota. And down here, in the little corner down here, it says 0% full. That's how much of my storage space I'm using. So basically, 70 kilobytes compared to 5 gigabytes is nothing. It's 0%. Yes?
Is there a specific name for these symbols, like share, organize, preview? Do they call them tabs, icons?
I mean, I refer to them as buttons. Like up across the top here, these are buttons.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Another button up here is the grid view. So if I want to see things, notice in the grid view, I get a little visual representation for some of the file types. So I can look at things that way if I want. I don't really use that. I don't know why, but some people like it. So it's just an option for you. Or I can look at things in a list view. Here's my gear. Wherever you see the gear icon in any Google apps, that's for your settings. So display density, all this does is it's very minimal, but you can show, you can make things compact so you can get more on your screen. Maybe you're using a smaller laptop and you want to squish things together so you can see more on your screen. You can set it to compact, cozy, or comfortable. You can play around with that. It's really not a big deal, but it's just an option. I can go to my settings, my upload settings, keyboard shortcuts, all of these things here. I can get help, all from my gear icon. And no matter what app you're in, when you see that gear icon, you'll have the same or very similar choices. So that's the nice thing about the apps is sort of as you start to learn some of the features, what you learn in one is usually applicable in another, except for obviously if you're using Docs, you don't get spreadsheet features, that sort of thing. But when it comes to how to use the overall product, sharing, the settings, all these things are going to be consistent as much as they can across the board. So here's where I can create all my different document types. Important thing is, and we'll cover this more, is they have templates. So just like in Word or something, you might want to have a resume template. You can go to create from template and it'll give you some options. We'll show you that in documents. And the other button you see here is the little upload button. When I click on that, I can upload files or folders. So if I'm moving to Google Docs and I have a folder with all of my proposals from 2012 in it and I want to upload it to my Google Drive, I can click Folder, navigate on my computer to where I have that folder, click on it, and it will upload all those files. So if it's a huge file size and you're on a slow connection, it might take a while. But if it's not so big or you have a really nice fast connection, it'll upload pretty quickly. Then you will see all those files in your Google Drive and you'll have access to them anywhere. When you upload something, I did say folder, right? Let's see if I can find a. I'm just going to do Kindle. I don't know. That's actually probably a bad. Yeah, I did file type though. Let me cancel that. I'm going to do a single file. The process is the same. So,
This is all available in the personal account, right?
yes. So I have a doc here. It's a subcontractor's agreement that we were working on the other day. It's in .doc. That means it's a Microsoft Word document. So when I go to upload that file, it's gonna. Oh, actually, I don't have it set that way. I uploaded it as a Word document. Notice the W, and now notice it's 95 kilobits. It's being used against my storage. You can actually have these settings. Let me try that again. Usually I have it ask me every time. It's somewhat annoying, but I like to have a lot of control over when I upload files. So I can turn this setting on or off. If I always want it to convert files, I can just set it that way. So again, the advantages are I can convert documents, spreadsheets, drawings, anything that Google has an equivalent for, I can convert it to Google Documents. The advantages are it doesn't count against my storage space, and I can then work on it online through the Google Apps anywhere I have access to it. The disadvantage is that if it's something that's highly formatted, or Google doesn't have an equivalent application, let's say it's a QuickBooks file or something, it won't even do it. But if it doesn't have an equivalent Google application, then you won't be able to edit it online. So again, if I'm writing a book and it's highly formatted, it's ready to go to press, I'm not sure I would use Word, but I know people who've done that, then I would take a chance at losing a lot of my formatting, so I might not choose that in that location in this instance. The advantage is, once it's in my drive, even if I'm on someone, maybe I go to my publisher and I can log into their computer and I can download it in the Word format and have it right there, so it's ready for that. So even though you don't always want to use Google Apps, the drive is still good for online storage. And then also, I've never actually even used this, but you can convert PDF documents to text. So if you have an invoice or something and it's a PDF, you can't edit it, right? But Google will make an attempt to try to read that text out of that PDF so that you can edit it online. So it doesn't always work so great, but and notice that I'm confirming all my features. So in this case, I want to convert the document, and I'm going to start the upload. Wow, that was fast because it's a small file. We're on a good connection. Now, is it this one?
The third one.
Oh, this one. So now notice that that I have the document. I can click on it, and now it's in editable format. Okay.
And that because he converted it to a Google Doc, now you can see over there where it says quota used. There's nothing. There's just a blank line because it doesn't count against.
Can you convert it back?
Yes. So when you download it, you can actually go in there, download it as whatever, PDF, Word. I think there's a list of all of the types of files that it'll convert it to.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff, but just keep in mind that your online storage, it's a place where you're going to go to access and organize all of your Google documents. So just think of it as on your online storage space, your drive, like a hard drive or a floppy drive or a USB drive, right? Same sort of terminology. And you have total control, sharing, management of your files, whatnot. Just one thing I think I mentioned it, but just to be sure, files that are shared with me, it's harder to find them. So if you're working on a file that someone shares with you, then move it. It's best to move it into your drive so that you can organize it and find it. So if you don't do that, it's a little bit harder because you can't organize files that are shared with me. Okay, you have to move them into your drive. Because if you start organizing things people shared with you, it would mess up their organization. So essentially what you do is you make a copy and you put it in here, but it's not a copy in the sense that it's really just a reference to the same document. So if I work on one that I put in my drive that Adad shared with me and he edits it, it's going to be the exact same copy. So the only reason to move it into my drive is to make it easier for you to organize your information. And I think with that, we'll move on to the next topic.
Sorry. So if you move it and you edit it, then the edited version is what the person who shared with you will see as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Will there be a notation on the document stating that you edited?
There are ways to find out who has made what changes and edits, and I think we'll show you that in Google Docs. It's called revision history. So you can go in and see everything that each person changes they made. You can even go back to previous versions.
Just like shared Word documents.
Yep.
They edit.
Yeah. And there's nothing more beautiful than working on a proposal at 11:30 at night, and you have 3 different people at 3 different locations, and you can be on speakerphone. You can use Google Talk. You don't even have to be on the phone. You can just see what everyone's doing all at the same time. It really makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, just like last night with
Just
this
like last night.
presentation. Okay,
I
so
have one question before you move on.
yes,
I want to move my Dropbox into my Google Docs. Would I do it the same way you just did?
Yeah, you have a local folder on your computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just upload it.
Okay.
I don't know if you could do it individually. You have to be careful, you know, because you're 5 gigabyte. I don't know what you have in your Dropbox. If you have
But
a
I
lot-
wanted to convert from Google Docs. Would I be able to?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, if you have a bunch of Word docs or Excel
Right.
spreadsheets,
Right.
you can, when you upload them, if you tell it convert it to Google format, it will do that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here under the upload, like he said, you've got the folder and the files. If you want to do a batch, kind of like your Dropbox,
Right.
you want to do a whole batch of stuff, you can do the folder. Now again, like he said, you have to be careful because if it's a lot and you've got a weak connection, it's going to take a long time and it might actually time out.
Okay.
So you have to just be careful.
So
If
maybe
you
do some folders at a time instead of.
Yeah, in smaller chunks. This way, you're kind of guaranteed the majority of it will upload. But again, if this ever fails, you've always got files. You can do them individually. Of course, if you've got a lot, then of course.
So I'm in my email front page. I highlight the ones I want to move to my drive. How do I do that?
That's a little different. You know what? Can I show one more thing?
Sure.
There was one more thing. I knew it was sort of out there on my brain because it came up the other day. And I actually sent myself a file. So that's everything from within Google Drive or uploading files or folders from your computer. But you brought up a very good point. Someone emails me an attachment, right? So I go in my email. Now notice what Google does for you. Here's I just made this file up. Here's the email, and then right here is the attachment. So I can do a couple of things. I can download it to my computer, or I can click on View. So I can download it and then upload it through Google Drive, which is like a 2-step process. Not a big deal, but an extra step. Or I can click on View, and Google, for most document types, will be able to read it. PDF, any kind of Microsoft product, it'll give you a rendering of that document online so you can look at it. I do this all the time. Look at it. I don't even open it and download it a lot of times because I don't want all that junk on my computer cluttering it up.
Right.
So, you know, because people send you a lot of stuff, right? So I can just look on it. If I don't need to act on it or do anything with it, I can just look at it and maybe respond back to the email or do
I want to
whatever.
take this and I want to put this in my drive.
So you want to put this in your drive. So you have a couple of options. You can save in Google Docs or you can edit online. So the difference between the two is, or I can download the original. So if I download it, it's going to save it to my computer. If I save it in Google Docs, if it's not, obviously it's not a Google Doc format, it's a Word, Microsoft Word format, it's going to save that document in Microsoft Word format in my Google Drive. And then the third option is to edit online. If I click edit online, let's give it a second, it is now a Google Docs format that I can edit online and share and do everything else that I could. And notice that if I go back to my drive, it says copy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. So here it is down here. So notice the icon, because it's converted. Now I did this the other day, and I downloaded it this way. Whoops, where'd it go? Too many windows. I'll have to reopen it. So, so again, download to my computer. I'll get a Word document somewhere on my computer wherever I save it. Save in Google Docs. It'll be in Word format in my Google Docs. That's this one. If I edit online, it'll save it to my Google Drive, but it saves it, it converts it for me. So you have total flexibility. And,
I noticed that your extension is DOCX. Does that just mean that you have Windows 7 or 12 or what?
the DOCX is the format that started with Office 2007. So if you have Office 2002, which I think is called Windows XP, or Office 2003.
Is that as convertible as?
Yes. Yeah, almost any kind of Microsoft option. And probably one more thing I should show you with, if you do have a file on your drive, you can always download it. So if you stored a Word document up there and you want to download it and work on it on your computer, you can click down, select it and click download, and notice that it downloaded here. I can click on it and it'll open up Microsoft Word. And now I can work on it in Word if I need to. So gives you total control and ability to do what you do. And thank you, Dodd, for letting me jump in there and finish that one last thing. And we'll move on to Google Docs next.
Okay, so
Oh wait, one second. Question.
What's the reason why you'd want to retain the original format if you can convert it to Google Docs and save the space?
well, here's the thing. Google Docs is not Office at all. It's not a replacement for Office. It's absolutely, it's a separate product. So what you're going to want to do is, if you notice, there's two things. One, let's say we go to this one, which is the Microsoft Word version. You'll notice right now it's got all of the formatting, because Michael, what he did is in Microsoft Word, he used a template to make his resume. It's got the nice line up here. It's got all the text the way he wants it. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is, if you go to the Docs version of it, you'll notice that formatting is gone, because Google Docs does not have that natively. Okay, so that's the reason why you would want to have something that is not a Google Docs. If you have a lot of formatting in your stuff, if you like your Microsoft Word documents a very particular way, you've got a lot of images, you've got a lot of templates that you're using, Google Docs is not for you. You
Wow.
can use it and store your stuff on there, but you don't want to convert everything into a Google Doc, because then the formatting goes away.
Just to be consistent here, most people, most business people especially, probably will have both. But what we do as a company, what schools are doing to save money because they can get this for free, is they're moving away from it, because from say Office, because maybe the business office has Office, but all the students would have access just to Docs. You can do most of what you need to do in Google Docs, but it is not an exact one-to-one replacement. So if you need it, you might need to have both. Personally, I very rarely ever use Microsoft Office products anymore.
No wonder Microsoft doesn't like Google.
Yes. And Apple doesn't like Google, and they're competitors.
Yeah.
I mean, Google really is the Microsoft of our day compared to 20, 30 years ago. So So yeah, so you have to be careful. If you have Office and you want to continue to use it, great. If you're a student, if you're running a business and you don't have it, you don't want to go through that expense, you could probably get around it. So it just really depends on what you need and how you're working.
Does Google have spreadsheets?
Yes.
And they have presentations?
Yes.
We'll try to get onto it just like that. I'll show you this right now, actually.
That's
We can actually create a doc. You guys are all in the drive, correct?
yeah.
It says drive right here and up at the top. Now you'll notice the difference between yours and ours is that we have our FireLogic logo up here at the top, and this is because we pay for the business version. Okay? So you have to make sure that you're in drive. Right underneath where it says drive, there's a create button. Go ahead and click that and just hover over it.
Don't you have to download Google Drive though?
No,
Oh, you
you
don't?
do not.
Good, 'cause
Google
I don't
Drive-
think you can download to these laptops.
You can download Google Drive, and what it'll do is it'll create a little folder. Let's see if I can get to it. Here's the difference. Google Drive, if you notice, I opened up my Windows. Okay, this is Windows 7. You guys have XP, which is a little bit different. Okay, there's a little folder on my desktop that says Google Drive. This is what you download. Okay, now the only difference between this and this is that this you can work on offline with. So this you can sync it with your account. That's the syncing portion. But you don't need this. You don't need to do this. Okay? You have everything online already, so you don't need to download this little folder. This just makes it easier to connect with your computer.
But you're not always around the internet. I mean, let's say you got a tablet or something, you're not gonna.
Right. But for example, in this instance, where you're using a public computer, you don't want to download it.
Right.
Correct? You want to download it on your own personal one. That way you can very easily, control everything. But here, in this situation, that's why Google Drive on the web is so much better. Okay? So don't download that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you don't need to download Google Drive on your computer to use Google Drive on Android.
Yeah. So that's kind of Google is not very good at distinguishing things. It used to be Google Docs up there and then Google Doc here. So the names are kind of exactly the same. So okay. So here under the create button, you get a little menu, correct? Now we've got document, which is in blue, the little icon which is in blue. This is the Microsoft Word equivalent. Okay, that's actually why it's in blue. Okay, Google Presentation, the PowerPoint equivalent. Okay, Spreadsheet, Excel equivalent. Google Form, there is no equivalent to this in Office. Okay, this is brand new. This is only in Google. Well, you can get other stuff, but Google has this natively. And drawing, which is sort of like the Microsoft Paint, or you can do what would be equivalent, Photoshop, even Illustrator. Some of the higher end, Adobe software, they have this kind of a lesser version right here. Okay. Also, you can create a folder.
You have
So
a
if-
database? I mean, like Access?
No.
Do they have Access in here? Like,
No. No. You can create a folder. Here are more options. If you wanted to come down here, you can actually create what's called a script. It's kind of a little web program that you can run that makes things, make things happen on your. We won't really get into much of this, okay? Only because this is really kind of, you need programming software and you need programming language and all that to get into it. And basically, I know a little bit of it, but I don't know too much of it to teach you. The most basic one, and the one that you're probably going to use the most, is the one that's on top. Okay, probably most intuitive. Go ahead and click Document. As you can see, this looks a lot like Microsoft Word, right? Okay, now remember, this is not a replacement for Microsoft Word. It's not going to have all of the features of Microsoft Word, but it has a lot. Okay, so let's see, up top you've got File. If you have File, you can create a new one up at the top. You can open one that you have in your drive already. You can rename this document. You can make a copy of this same document. You can choose the language that you're typing in. You can download as. Now this is the important one. This is what we were talking about before. Under File, Download As. Look at all of the different formats that you can download this in. Okay, there's the Microsoft Word, Open Document format, Rich Text format, which is kind of like a very simplified text format. Okay, PDF document, plain text, and as a web page. Okay, so even if this is a Google Doc, you can still download in all of these different formats. Google is very good at getting their product and pushing it out to all the different vendors and making it compatible with everything. That's one of the beauties of Google. Okay, and then
you use their version, but it's easy to bring things in and take things out.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of flexibility.
And that's kind of unique to this company. I don't see Microsoft Word really doing much in terms of, I mean, they want you to buy their product and use their product, and they do some PDF stuff, but that's about as much as they do. This one, which is public to the web, we'll get to this one. You can actually take this document and make it sort of as a website. It's going to have its own address, and people can come to it and search for it online and all of that. Okay, so that's what the publish to web is. Page setup, you can change your page settings down here. Just like in Microsoft Word, you've got different orientations. Okay, you can set the margins, what type of paper you've got. Okay, you can even change the page color to whatever you want. Okay, I'm just going to leave it normal and just do that. And you can print. Now, do we still have to do the whole print to PDF thing?
No, I mean, if you have a printer set up,
Can you
right?
print? Okay.
You can choose, if you have multiple printers or a printer set up, you can choose to print to that printer, just as you would. Normally, you can print to PDF, you know, so it's a file that you could then email to someone. But actually, if I was going to do that, I would just probably download
as yeah.
PDF. You also have some other options there, email collaborators, email as an attachment.
Here, so if you wanted to print it, the same thing, you know, you would go print. You'd have to, you know, set your printer. You have to have your printer installed on your computer and all that. But yeah, you can print there. There are some things down here. For example, this one, email collaborators. Okay, so collaborators are the people that I've shared this document with. Okay, so for example, if this document right now, you guys have this document open on your, and if you want to share it with me, what you'll do is you'll go over to the share, and then we can just then from here just email you out. You don't have to write the email anymore. You can just click email collaborators, and we can email you directly. I have to name it first. So
what's nice about that is, you say you have 4 people that you're collaborating on keep using the proposal. It could be anything. Let's say you're writing a proposal. There's 4 collaborators. Instead of going back to Gmail, opening up an email, typing all their addresses in, you click email collaborators, and it'll actually pull up an email window for you, and it'll address it to all the people who are shared on the document.
Just like you do in Word, you would do send to.
Yeah.
yeah. Now we learned how to take an email attachment and convert it into a doc. Correct. Now we've got the same thing in reverse. Now we can send this as an attachment. Okay, so if I want to write an email, okay, here's maybe somebody doesn't have Gmail, maybe they have Yahoo. Okay, we can still send this document straight from Google Docs as an email, as an attachment to somebody else. Okay, question in the back?
No, I was,
No.
for whatever reason, email collaborators I wasn't able to click on it, but then it disappeared and I'm able to.
Yeah, it takes some time.
In a blank document, or if you don't have collaborators, it might not be available.
Right.
I don't know what I clicked on, but it says I can share the link right to my Twitter. So
Yeah.
would that be like a recipe that I could put out there, and it would show up instead of my 140 characters? It would just be a line, and immediately would go out.
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
Okay, so again, this most of the features here for collaboration and the web storage and all of that, and the access around the world, I think outweigh any of the features that you might get from the Microsoft products. And I'm not saying Microsoft is bad or anything. I'm not dissing them at all. They're a great software program. But in terms of what we use, I enjoy these features a lot more because I can collaborate in real time anywhere around the world.
Just to make it clear, we don't work for Google. I don't even own any Google stock. I wish I did. Actually, I wish I owned some Apple stock.
They're going after 80% of the market.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we're just excited about it because this is what we use day in and day out, and it's made what we do so much easier and made us so much more productive.
Can you get Google Chrome on tablets?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
when you go onto a smartphone or a tablet or a mobile device, there are apps that you can download specific for that device. And on most devices, you can get Google Chrome. But usually when you go to a smartphone or to a tablet, you would use an app that you would download.
Okay.
So, because working on a smaller screen in a web browser isn't always, you'll have the same experience if you open up your phone and go to your Chrome web browser or whatever web browser and log in, but it's going to be very small.
Right.
When you use the apps, it's designed to make things a little bit easier to do. It's still a small screen, but it's designed. So yeah, there are the equivalent apps on most devices for the products.
Moving along here at the top, you've got your edit, okay? You still have your basic undo and redo, okay? You've got copy and paste. I don't have anything selected, so they're grayed out, okay? And I can paste. I have something on my clipboard that I can paste on there right now, okay? The web clipboard, if you wanted to see what you have copied, okay, and is on your clipboard, just like in Microsoft Word, same thing. Now you've got a web clipboard where you keep all the things that you copy, okay? You can select all and you can find and replace, okay? Same thing, you can select it, find it, and then replace it with something else, okay? So let's see, under view, if you wanted a different view on your doc, you've got your document view, you've got the page thing where it shows you all of the page breaks and you can actually move from one to the other, or you can do it compact so that it's one long sort of scroll, if you would, and then when you print it, it'll just add the page breaks, okay? If you want them to show the ruler's up here, okay? Show equation bar, so this one would be more for spreadsheets, but if you can do it on docs too. The equation bar, okay, up at the top shows you what you're doing. Show spelling suggestions. Again, this is the same thing as sort of an autocorrect or spell check, yeah. Compact controls, I'm not entirely sure what that does. Or the full screen, so you can just see your document and nothing else, none of the other menus. Okay, insert, obviously you can do a bunch of different things. Image is in Microsoft Word. Link, you can actually insert a link if you want to, just like Microsoft Word, an equation, a drawing. Okay, now this is almost, they have this in Microsoft Word. It's a little bit different here though, because you're using the drawing app for that. Okay.
It allows you to do, like, if you like to do the web, what do they call that, Word clip art, so you can get like those big blocky letters and all that stuff some people like to use. You can insert a drawing and then do that sort of thing that you couldn't get that same effect if you just type text and then tried to format it. It's not as robust as you would get with the drawing.
You can add a footnote to each page, okay? Special characters if you want them, okay? Horizontal line if you just the horizontal line. You can add the page numbers, okay? Page count. You can add a page break at a certain point, okay? So if you have something that goes on to different pages and you want it to just break at a certain point, you can add that. Header, footer, bookmarks, and table of contents. Now these two, bookmarks and table of contents, because this is web-based, these will create links, okay? Now, if you remember from before when I talked about links, or did I talk about links? I don't think I did.
I talked about it.
Oh, you talked about it. Anyway, the link is basically just a button that you can press that'll take you to another site or another website, okay? And that's how this works, okay? So table of contents will create a link depending on the headers that you put, okay? So you can click on the link and it'll take you to that heading, whatever it is. Okay? It's all within the document, but since the document is online, then it's technically a web page. And Bookmark does the same thing, but it's got a little ribbon thing that it looks really cool.
Do you want to show that?
Sure,
Kinda
yeah,
quickly?
I'll show that.
While he's setting this up, because one of the things we want to do is give you specific examples of how you might use this, in a business environment. And the way you can use the table of contents, very common in business, is let's say you have a committee, you might have a budget team, okay, and you meet once every month, every other week, whatever it is, and you have an agenda, right? You can keep it all in one Google document. And what you can do is you can set up a table of contents so that as you go through each meeting through the year, you set up this table of contents. So at the end of the year, as this document gets longer, it's you'll have a table of contents, which you're familiar with, like in a book, that you can click on. So if you want to go back to the September 1st meeting, you click on it, and it'll jump to in the document the September 1st. The advantage of that is I now have a whole year's worth of meetings all in one document. I don't have 12 documents, or if I meet twice a month, 24 documents. Everything's in one document, and the table of contents allows me to navigate and find things quickly. It's a link, like Adad was saying. And the second thing is the bookmarks are sort of similar. So maybe I'm creating a document that says, how to do 10 things. Maybe it's a recipe. This is a perfect example. So you have your whole recipe with your instructions, and maybe there's something in there. Maybe there's a technique in there that I'm not very good at cooking. Braising. So it says, okay, braise the meat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that much. So at that point, if I don't know what braising is, but if I'm the author and I realize, hey, someone might not know what that means, I could put at the bottom of the document all the various techniques you would need to know and directions, and then I bookmark them. And then I put them essentially as links in the main directions. So the main directions are this big, but you might need to know 3 special techniques that you documented at the bottom of the document. And you can actually do it into other documents if you want to get real tricky. So then when it says braising, it's a link, you click on it, and it takes you to the section in the document that would then show you how to do a braising technique. Now you could do the same thing and create a link to a web page. So it's not like it's the only way to do it, but the bookmarks and table of contents do give you a lot of functionality.
Okay, so then would you save that, and then you could copy and paste it on, say, my blog, and all of that would go to the blog?
What I'd probably do is, you could copy and paste the text. You'd have to play with it. I think the links would still work, but those links are going to refer back to your document. So on a blog, you might want to link to something else, or make your document public on the web, and then when someone clicks a link, it'll take them to that document.
Oh, okay.
So you can do that as well.
Okay, so here I'll do both of those features. If you want to follow along, I can do both of them. Okay, so in order for the table of contents to work, okay, what I have to do is I have to get the title of whatever it is that I want to, the different sections that I have. So for example, right here, I'm going to do a dot. I had a meeting and I said hello. Okay, and then Michael had a meeting the next day and he said hi. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up those 2 meetings, okay, in a table of contents up here, so that later on down the road, maybe 10 years after so many meetings saying hi and hello, okay, I can go to that particular one and just click on it and go to it. Okay, so what I have to do though is get the header, which is my name, okay, and Michael's name, and I'm going to convert them into, instead of normal text, up here it says normal, it's a different style of text, okay, and put that as a heading 1, okay, and each one of these has different places in the order of in the table of contents. So title will show up all the way at the top, subtitles will be right underneath them, heading 1 is going to be a subset of that, and so on and so forth all the way to the bottom. Okay, take that one and do the same thing to it, heading 1. Okay, now this I'm going to keep as normal text because these are the minutes of the meeting. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some space up here, and I'm going to go to Insert, put my cursor right there, Insert, Table of Contents all the way at the bottom. And if you can see, it's got Adad and Michael, okay, right there. And these are in blue and underlined. That means that they're links. So let's say I want to go to Michael. I can click there. There's a little link on the bottom. Takes me straight to Michael. Okay. Now, the difference between that and this one, let's say, for example, later on I add more meetings, right? I can just take this one, change it to heading 1, go way back up here, kind of hover over it, click on it. See this little wheel right here, the little arrow that goes in a circle? You just click on that, and it adds it automatically. Okay? So if you publish this onto the web, it'll show up immediately. Anybody who has access to this document will see it immediately. They won't have to wait for you to change it. They won't have to save it. They won't have to do anything. As soon as you do that, all of the table of contents will show up like that.
So if you share it publicly on the web, like I showed you before, or if you go File, Publish as a website, give people the link. This might be great for, let's say, the library board wants to put their meetings up on the web. You could have it for the whole year, and I want to know what's going on in the February meeting from 2012. In the table of contents, I would see that. I'd click on it, and it would pop me right down to the meeting minutes for 2012. So,
Yeah.
Can you put
So-
security on that? Can you?
well, at this point, you wouldn't want security. I mean, if you want something to be public, it's either public or not. So if you want security, then you don't share it on the web. You don't publish it on the web. But you could just share this between me and you, and then only you could still use all these features, but only you and I would have access. When you do sharing, you have complete control over whom you share it with.
If you go to the web to view it, do you need Google Docs to view it?
Depends on how you share it. If you want to share it so we can both edit it, yes. If you want to share it as like a website so people can just see it, so it's just a document, it's just recipes, let's say, then no, you could basically make it like a web page so people could just see it and they wouldn't need Google Docs to do that. So you have a lot of flexibility and control.
Okay, so here's the other one. This is the bookmarks now. Okay, let's say this is a recipe, okay, and this is just copied directly from another website, so it's all jumbled up, pretend it's Swedish, okay? So this is the recipe, right? And there's a very specific part of the recipe, right, that I have to know how to do, but I don't want to explain it all right here, okay? Because this particular part we can do in several different recipes, and it's just something, a skill that you need to know, okay? And that is more, right? More. You explain what more is and how to do it, okay? This would be sort of a footnote or something like a, what would you put at the end of a book? What's that called? The index or something like that. So something that is, or like a reference section of a book, okay? That would be here, okay? So let's create a bookmark. So I'm going to highlight this. Go Insert, Bookmark, okay? And you'll notice what happens is it turns this little ribbon here, the little bookmark on there, okay? And of course, I'm going to have many different recipes because I'm writing a recipe book, okay? And I'm going to see it created a link for me. I can remove it if I want to, okay? I want to see the link. I want to see the link. There we go. Did it do it?
It actually just takes you to just highlight more at the top and create your link there.
Yeah, but where do I get? Oh, I see.
Click
I see.
link.
Yeah. Okay. So here now, what I can do is because I have several different recipes and all of, maybe 5 of them have more in it, what I can do is I can select where it says more, okay, select more, create a link, okay, and you have different options. You can do a web address, which means that it'll take you to an external address, okay, an email address, so that if you click on it, you're prompted to create an email, or a bookmark. This is what I want because this is my book. Okay, so bookmark. It'll show me which bookmarks do I have. I'm going to click more. I've only got one for right now. Click OK. So now, whenever I'm reading this recipe and I say, oh, I already know how to do more, so I'm just going to stay. Or, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do more. So right there, you've got a link, and it says, all right, well, go to that, and it'll take me down here. If you notice, the cursor just went down there. Does that make sense? Okay. So that part of the bookmarks is...
So if you're writing a manual or procedures or something like that, some sort of documentation on how to do a job or operate some equipment or something like that, a feature like that could be very useful. Or even if you're writing a book. Yeah.
Write a weekly blog, okay? Would you save it on something like this and then transfer it to a web-based page?
Chances are if you're writing a blog, you're going to use, a different tool. So I probably wouldn't use this tool to do blogging. Google does have an application for blogging. It's called Blogger. So I'd probably use that. Now you can link back to documents if you want to create documents. Let's say you're blogging about recipes.
Well, if you just wanted to save them all in one location, you could do it.
You could. I mean,
You could if you
copy
want
and
to.
paste it into a document and keep them. But you would also have that information on the web. So yeah, you could, I guess.
The other, and again, all of the Microsoft features that you normally see, I'm assuming you guys are very familiar with them, so I'm just kind of just going over them very quickly because there's a lot in Google Docs and I want to cover a lot. So bold, italic, underline, those are the different types of styles. Okay, this is rich text, so you can actually do them. Strike through, that's another one. Superscript, subscript. Different paragraph styles. So if you wanted to, let's see what this says.
If you want, you can do it.
So if you wanted to increase your indent, just different types of styles. This is the type of styles. Remember, I was telling you there's a little quick button, a quick link. You can also do it through here. Okay, so select these, and they go in order. So title would always be on top in the table of contents, and then the different subheadings all the way down to options. Options has just different versions of that. If you can do like save the default styles. And this is again a little bit more complicated. If you want your doc to look a certain way, you can use options down here to make sure that if you click heading, it does the heading that you want it to do. Okay, align it just like in Microsoft Word. It's got left, center, right, and justified. Line spacing, you can increase the line spacing. You can add bullet points. So let's say these right here, I want to create into bullet points. You can do it in format, list styles. List styles. Okay, choose the different types of bullets, or you can go up here, just sort of a quick button to just do list, and it'll do 6 numbered, or here in different bullets. Okay. And then if you wanted to clear all of the formatting, what you can do is you take this and just go clear formatting, and everything kind of should go away. Let me Control All, select everything, and then clear all the formatting out, and then everything should go away. Of course, it doesn't. It did go away. It's just this is no longer highlighted. I had other stuff on here that it's basically if you bold it or italicize or underline it, it'll take it away if you need it. Okay. Different tools. This is actually a new tool. The research. If you wanted to, let's say for example for school, okay, and you're doing a research paper on Abraham Lincoln. Go here under research, and what it does is it basically it'll take the Google search bar and it'll put it inside your document, so that if you need to do research, you don't have to go to a different website. You can research it straight from there.
You can also highlight text. So let's say you had Abraham Lincoln already in your text. You can highlight it, click on research, and it'll do the search for you, just as though you typed it in the search bar over there.
And you can see I haven't even finished typing Abe Lincoln, and it already kind of came up, all of those features right here. And you can also, like you said, highlight something and then research it, and it'll come up with different articles, different web things, images. As you can see here, you've got different images, just a whole bunch of stuff. See, all of these are websites where you can get information on him. Now, of course, this is, you're searching on the web, so you kind of want to be careful what you choose and how you cite things. Where am I?
What
Tools.
else is under the research and what else?
Define. So, say for example, I want to know what bars means. Highlight bars and then define it, and it'll show me as a dictionary. And again, Microsoft has this as one of their features as well. So this is not word count. You can do word count if you want to. You can translate the document. It uses Google Translate to take something, into a different language. So let's say, for example, I will say in Spanish. Okay, I wanted to do that and translate it. Oh no, I can't translate. Do I have to translate the whole document?
Yeah, apparently.
No. Okay, well I have to
Translate
do.
to Spanish.
Okay, let's translate this all to Spanish. Here we go.
First one.
Translate that, and it'll actually make a copy, and it'll translate everything. Yeah. Translate the entire.
You speak Spanish, so does it do pretty accurately?
That is where you have to be very careful. If you speak Spanish, this will do a lot of the work for you, but you still have to edit it because it is software and it's not intuitive like the human brain. So you do have to be careful about that, okay? So if you are doing stuff like this, obviously double check it.
And it's not for cheating on your Spanish.
So you go translate back.
We do a lot of work with schools, and we get a lot of concerns. Like, I want all these features except for that one.
You go back to English. If you go back to English.
Well, actually, it created a copy of it, so you still have the English version. Yeah. Okay. And then, of course, you've got your preferences. You can do different things in here. I won't get too far into this because, again, these are more advanced features. If you wanted to insert a table, you can insert a table depending on how many different. You can go, let's see, this is a 20 by 15 table, or you can do something on a 5 by 6 table, okay, if you need a table. And then, of course, right now I don't have a table inserted, so none of these features are highlighted, but you can insert a row, all of that, okay, right here. Again, same as Microsoft. Here is where you have your help center, okay? Now, this is what I mean about having help in different areas. So if you need to learn how to do anything in Google, this kind of has a quick link to whatever tutorials you may need. Okay? And again, most of these features that we have in the menus are here. So in icon form, sort of quick links, okay? So bold, italic, starting from here. So print, undo, redo. This is a paint format, so if you have the format, let's say this is a format right here that you want, okay, you can paint it, so it's like kind of copying the format, and then you can paste the format on here, and it'll do it for you.
Yeah. So if you formatted something very specifically and you want to apply that to, say, several other paragraphs, do it once and then paint it to the other paragraphs.
Yeah. I haven't seen this in Microsoft.
I think they do have it.
Do they have something like this?
Yeah.
I'm not
You're just
very
keeping it
familiar.
secret.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Microsoft Word actually does a lot, but studies show that most people use just a couple of percent, maybe 5-10% of the actual product. So what Google has done is said, hey, let's not put all that stuff in there. Let's keep it simple. So it's kind of goes both ways because it's actually improved a lot over the years. It's gotten more and more Word-like as they've continued to develop it. But they say, we want to completely redesign this. So they're adding those types of features to it. But they started with all the collaboration tools, the web-based links and everything. Whereas Microsoft had to go the other way because it was sort of invented before the web. or before the web was really as common as it is today. So they're coming from two different directions, and they're kind of starting to meet in the middle.
Okay, so and then you've got your different types of text format, paragraph formatting, your fonts, okay, just like there's limited amounts of fonts. You can kind of only get the ones that they've got. You can, there are some Google fonts that you can install, but it's a really long process. Anyway, the point is that you've got a limited amount of fonts, not the fonts that you can install on your computer like that. Since it's all web-based, it wouldn't really look into your fonts folder on your computer. Font size. Again, all of the different options here. You can choose the text color with the little A with the black bar underneath it. You can choose the highlighting color right there. You can create a link. Okay. Now here's how you create a link. This is also in almost everywhere, but I just want to show you. You can always highlight something. Click the little link button, and here you can do either a web address, email, or a bookmark, just like we did before. Okay, so you can do this as well. Then you've got insert a comment. So here, let's say I wanted, I am the teacher, right? And a bunch of my students turned in a paper, and I want to say, well, you know what, this is misspelled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, add a comment to it, and say spelling. Oh, if I can spell spelling. And click the comment, and now John Smith, which is the teacher, said, and it's highlighted, and now the student can see it. Because the student shared it with me, the student can see it there. Yes?
Now, let's say if you went further on in the document and you inserted additional comments, would there be an association with the comment and the highlighted?
Yes. So if you add a comment, what it'll do is it'll associate this highlighted text here with whatever comment. You can add, however many comments you want onto this highlighted.
And we can demonstrate that briefly when we go in sharing.
Okay. Let's do something before. You guys already created a document, correct? Okay. So let's share it. Why don't you guys share it with me? Okay. And I am John Smith at FireLogic.net. So what you would do is right here there's a blue button with a little lock next to it. Go ahead and click on it and click share. Okay. To add people to your document, what you would do is just go down here and enter my email. johnsmith@firelogic.net. Okay, so you are in your document, the document that you created, and then you share it with me. And the reason that we would do that is because
What's your address?
johnsmith@firelogic.net. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this. If I go to my Google Drive, okay, and I want to find all of the items that you guys just shared with me, I go with shared with me, right? So I click on shared with me here. And here's where we're going to start to see who is doing it right. So these untitled documents, those of you who didn't title your document, okay, that's right here. Nikki's here. But if I want to see who actually shared it with me, I go over here and see your username. So whatever you use for your email username, so anything before the @ in your email, you can see it. If you're really spiffy and you have already a picture uploaded, you can see your picture. Okay? So right here.
So where do I put a title?
Not from you would actually click on the title.
Now,
You'd have to see it on the screen.
those of you who have shared your docs with me, what I want you to do is inside your doc, I want you to rename it with your first and last name. Okay? And I'm going to pick a document at random, one of these untitled documents, and I'm going to open it. Now, whose is this one? It'll be yours, yeah, right there. Okay, go ahead and change the name of your document. So just click where it says untitled document and change it to your first and last name.
But how do I get out of the screen?
I don't have to scroll down.
Everybody with us?
I don't think.
Who needs help?
Okay.
I didn't even do anything because, okay,
Can you go on past?
yeah, you guys do two times for us.
Okay, so put a share.
This is my document.
Oh, that is your document, yeah. So click right here where it says untitled document, click on it. Now put your first and last name.
Okay, so
Right, right, and
she
then
literally
you
just
do-
clicked on it.
Couldn't even look past it.
No, you're right. It's not always that fast, depends on your internet connection.
I'm sure, but.
I don't know.
But, so what we did in the back row there was she renamed her document and right away it appeared on ours. So it's real-time collaboration. And
want us
what
to
you may have
write
noticed
email,
too is
right?
there was a lot of document names that were the same. If you tried to do that on your computer with any program, let's say Office, Word, your computer would yell at you, right? You can't have the same document
Yeah, I
name
put that,
twice.
then what?
The way Google works is a little different. It's actually because it's on the web, it has an ID associated with it. So while we look at it and think of things in terms of names, Google's looking at it. Each document has a unique ID. So to Google, it doesn't matter what the name is. So you have to be careful because you might end up with, if you don't name your document, you'll end up with 20 untitled documents, and then you have to click through each one to figure out which one you want to get. So make sure you name them, but Google won't yell at you for doing that.
Down here,
That's
put
good or
my
bad.
address, which is
So where, there anywhere
John
there where
Smith
it
at
was
FireLogic.net.
Oh yeah, we'll cover that. So go ahead
It
and,
says last edit was
Where's your,
yeah, why don't you make some changes and then show a revision history.
Okay, so
Jan-
let's do this. Whose document is this? Really quickly,
In the back row.
back row there. Okay, so why don't you do me a favor and put your cursor somewhere in between here. Now look at this. Just click around and put your cursor different places for me, please. You see what the little flag? It's green. Okay, it's going around and it's showing she is making changes to the document, and I am looking at it through my account. See the John Smith up there? That's my account. So she's making changes to it real time while I'm doing. It's kind of like a whiteboard that we're both working on in different places.
Wow.
Okay? So let's say this is the whiteboard. I'm making changes over here. She's making changes over there, right? But she is somewhere else completely, somewhere other in another side of the world. And I'm still making changes here.
Well,
Okay.
what change supersedes? Or what,
Well,
does
we
Google know what to save, or what, you know, I mean, if you're both working on a document, like, I mean, a budget's a good example. I'm in an office with 5 people, we're all working on a monthly budget.
you would be actually doing the same exact thing. Normally what you would do is, let's say, for example, on the project, let's say I'm doing one paragraph, she's doing another paragraph, you know, Joe Schmo over there is doing another paragraph. We're each doing our own paragraphs, and it's updating at live, adding the spaces and everything as we go along.
But to, I guess, get more technical to answer your question, let's say you are doing a spreadsheet and you're doing a budget, and you change a number and someone comes right behind you and changes that number, you put in 100, they put in 200, the last edit is going to stick. And what we'll show you next is how to see who made what edits and how to jump back and forth. So you do have to be careful because, you know, if someone goes in and changes everything you did, depending on how many changes were done in the document, you may not get back to exactly one specific way of doing it. But you can go back to see different versions. So every time someone makes an edit, it sort of records that, and you can go back to that particular edit. So
Okay,
it takes a snapshot as you go along, and you could go back to any point in time. What you can't do is say, oh, I want this edit made 2 days ago, and this edit made yesterday. You got to pick one or the other. So if someone goes in and really messes it up, you got work to do. So you do have to be careful. So don't share it with people who are going to mess it up.
Okay.
So I did something.
So before, right here, only the things that she had done showed up, right? And I added this line right here. This is a revision smiley face. Okay, So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, okay, you know what? This is not professional. I don't want people to know that this is a revision. I'm just going to go back to what I wanted. What I did originally, that's my best work. I only like my work. Okay? So I'm going to go to File. I'm going to File here and go to Revision History and click on it. Okay? Now it's going to show me who did what. Now John Smith, which is me, okay, in pink, is the last person that edited this document. Okay? She wants her version, which is down here. She's going to just revert to this version. Now watch this. All you got to do, click on it, restore this version, and it goes back to the original version that she created. Okay? Now let's say, oh, you know what, on second thought, maybe he was right. Maybe we should put that was a revision. So I'm going to go back here to File History. See Revision History. Now, I don't want that one. I'm going to go to this one. Okay? Now what this will do, okay, and if you select the revision, it'll show up the revisions in the different colors of the person. So, for example, this person, that's the revision that he made, okay, John Smith made, and it's in pink. Does that make sense? Okay, so what I want to do is it'll show you the revision that you want and say, okay, well, this is the version that I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restore this version now. I'm going to go back to what I wanted. Restore this version. Bam. Now it's back to the original, the second edited version. Okay. Every time that somebody does that, it kind of takes a snapshot of it and it saves it so that you can go back in history and kind of just, if you made an entire document and it was beautiful and somebody deleted it and then went away and saved it, you can revert back to it so you don't really lose any data.
Is there a way to tile it so you can see it side by side and pick from your version and pick from their version?
Well, what it'll do, if you look at it, so when you go to Revision History, when you look at it, if you click on it, it'll show you the changes. So it'll show you the changes in a different color. Okay, so if I go to, say, this one, see the difference? Now it's gone. So now the things that I did are gone. And if I go back here, oh, here it is. Yeah. So this is what happened in this version. When that person made this, now it shows up in green. Does that make sense?
Can you isolate all the revisions by a specific person?
I think if you click Show More Details, you'll get more of the click-by-click edits. There's only been one time in all the years that I've really had to go back to kind of answer your questionnaire. Someone really did something that was not desirable. So I had to go through and kind of click on each one and sort of take notes of kind of what got changed so that I was able then to put everything back together. But that's only happened to me once.
So, like as you were saying right there, in more detail, this is when she opened the document. Then she clicked and she made XX. Then she did this, XXXX. And she did it again. Oh, now she changed a little bit more. Now she changed a little bit more. So you can go, step by step in the history if you go down here to show more. Or you can show less. Maybe you just want, a big chunk of time and just be able to kind of not go through all of them one by one.
Hypothetically, you get a document with a lot of people working on it, including your boss.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to drop out everything he said that he wanted inserted or taken out without any of the other business that other people commented on. Can you isolate the changes that the boss made?
Yeah, absolutely. So the changes that are made have a person assigned to them. So essentially, if your boss is John Smith and you want to take away the last thing that he did,
I want everything that he did.
You'd have to go through and, you can go through and kind of see what he's done over time.
Well,
but there's no magic button.
You got a lengthy history, and you got to say, well, I want to see where he changed this, but I don't know where it is. So I want to block out everybody else and just collect his.
At that point, I would say don't share with us.
Yeah.
That'll be the next version.
Yeah, I mean, there are limitations to this. But
Yeah.
the thing is, if you have a Word document that you're emailing back and forth, you're probably not going to have this option really at all, except for you might have 20 different copies of the same document, but you're still going to have the same problem. I mean, this is going to, I mean, maybe it's happened to you, but it's only happened to me once in all the years. It's not a very likely scenario that you're going to have to go back and really kind of pick and choose between all of these different revisions to sort of restore your document. At that point, you might just recreate the document, by copy and pasting and manually editing that document and going back and changing it. What this gives you would be the ability, okay, I want to see every edit John Smith made. Because, maybe John's new and he didn't quite have the right idea. So I can go back and I can click and I say, okay, this comment wasn't appropriate. You can kind of make a note of it and go back and change it. There's no magic button that's going to just remove everything John Smith did. But the point, I think, is that unless you have a different experience, it's probably not
Well,
likely to
I used to
happen.
write audit reports of 70, 80 pages, and then my boss is sticking stuff in there, and somebody disputes it, and it isn't me that wrote it, it's him. I'd like to find that and say, you put it in there.
Well, then at some point, what I would do, probably if you're concerned about that situation, is I would create my own document, make a copy, and share the copy with him so you can go back to your own document. Yeah, I mean, if you're really concerned about that. I mean, there's no perfect solution with any product, but this gives you a lot of functionality.
So you could be working on this at the same time with mobile people.
Yes.
Or one other option is you can make it so people can view this and only add comments. So by adding comments, they could highlight text and say, well, shouldn't this be worded this way? But they can't change the document if they have comment-only access. So at that point, then you could go and review the edits, and you can say, yeah, you know what, you were right. I'm going to make that change. Or, no, I don't agree with you. I'm not going to make that change. That might be more appropriate for your situation if that's concerned.
Yeah, and actually, let's demonstrate that now. So right here where it says share, okay, now I have full access to her document because that's what she gave me, okay? So, but instead of that, what I want you to do is down here where it says can edit under John Smith, go ahead and put can comment or can view, either one, okay? And let's see, the viewer here, yoga pathway for you? Joan. Go ahead and do that to the document that I've got here.
Okay, I just opened up that screen and it says you have made changes that you need to save, so should I save changes first then?
Yeah, go ahead and save them.
Okay, so then I was kind of looking at that while you were talking, so can you repeat what you just
Sure. Right here in the share button, okay, go ahead and click share. All right. Oops. Sorry. Let me refresh that really quick. Oh,
Okay.
I don't have any access to it. Fine.
Yeah, sure, removed you.
Okay.
Oh, so I had to, so why did it, so that was a change?
Here, I changed mine to comment.
Okay. Where's yours, Nikki?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do Nikki's. Okay. So right here under share, okay, what you would do is, I don't have access to this now. Okay. This is comment only, so I can't do anything other than comment. Okay. So that's the access that she gave me. Okay. So I'm going to close. But let's say, for example, I was like, oh, okay, Nikki, you know what? This is Swedish and it's misspelled, and I want to, tell you that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert comment. And you'll notice here under insert, because she shared it with me, okay, and she only gave me comment only ability, I only have comment here. Okay? So I'm going to highlight and say spelling. Okay, and then put the comment there. Now, in Nikki's account, she'll notice that there's a comment from John Smith right down at the bottom there, right underneath her comment. Okay, does that, anybody who's behind her, you can see it? Okay, it does that kind of automatically there. Also, another thing I wanted to point out really quickly, okay, up here at the top where it says 2 other viewers, okay, you can see who is actually viewing it. Okay, if somebody else has this document open, you'll see all of the collaborators up here. And the cool part about it is, if you click this little arrow here, you can actually start a dialogue with them as you are working on this document. Yes?
All right, now, because of the way you just did that, all of us sent you our document.
Yes.
I want you to send everybody our document.
Okay.
So we all have access to everybody's document. You can do that, right?
Absolutely.
I cannot though, because they didn't share it with me.
Each person would have to share their own document with everybody else, or because he has access to them all, he would have to go in each one and share it with everybody.
Okay.
So you can do it,
So
a tedious process.
The owner controls it.
The owner
Yeah.
controls it, but if you give someone edit access, they could also share it with somebody else.
So just because Nikki said no, okay, that she doesn't want anybody sharing or being able to access her document or edit her document, if he shares it with
You
me,
can't share it.
No, you can't share.
you can't share her document because she wouldn't allow you to. But all of the rest of us that did give you access, you'd be able to share it with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, whoever is the owner is the one who controls the access. So, say for example, you just want comment only. That means that I can only comment. And right now, Nikki has me as comment only. So if I click share, you'll see I cannot share this document. It'll
So
say
you can't
request
even,
access.
like, ask for my input. Like, you guys are a team, okay? But you know, I don't know, steps through promotional, whatever. You couldn't take Nikki's document, share it with me and say, hey, can you give me some input on this?
No, she would have to do it in this
She would
case,
have to
Yeah.
do it, okay.
because we don't have the rights to do that.
Gotcha.
So if you give someone edit rights, they can edit that document completely, and they can share it. The only thing they can't do is delete it, because only the owner can delete it. Now, you can delete it out of your Google Drive so you don't see it, but if you're not the owner, you can't delete that document. Only the owner can delete that document.
Gotcha.
So,
And even the owner, if the owner wants to delete it, what you can do is you can delete it and then keep it for the rest of the rest of the collaborators. So say for example, Nikki created a document that is useful in the library, and she shared it out to everybody. Tomorrow, Nikki gets a really awesome offer at the Chicago Public Library, and she has to leave. Okay? When she closes her account, she can delete it from her account, but not delete that document for the rest of the collaborators. And then
should
the
make
owner,
someone else the owner.
she'll make somebody else the owner.
So can you, you can, all right, I was gonna say per person, you can give edit rights or comment rights.
Correct.
Right. All right.
Okay. You can do that, yeah, per person, or let's say here.
So like, now, can you just like copy everyone's and send it to all of us that are sitting here right now?
Yes, and actually, we're going to do that. We're actually going to take, if you want, we can take maybe, what, a 10-minute break really quick because I've been talking at you for such a long time.
Actually, we're running really low on time. What I'd like to suggest, if it's okay with everybody, if you need to take a break, take a break. But if we take a 10-minute break, we're going to be kind of short on time. I don't mind, Nikki, if you think we should take a break, we'll take a break.
That's fine.
But,
Oh.
I mean, honestly, if you need a drink of water or something, feel free to get up. We won't be, I'm sorry.
We won't
Don,
chase
this
it.
is-
Yeah, I didn't notice the time. I'm sorry about
we're-
that.
We got
That's
like
fine.
45 minutes to do,
Where
But
are
I
we on
think
this
our-
list? Where are we?
we're about halfway through.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, we've covered the bigger half. I mean, we've probably covered 3/4 of the material. So the last part we can do, spreadsheets is pretty quick, and then drawings is really quick. Because again, all the sharing features that we showed you apply to all the applications, so we don't really need to do that within each application.
Okay, I created a tiny URL. If you guys are familiar with tiny URL, I know that those of you who took my Excel course, you guys know what this is. Okay, basically what this is, it's just a link to a separate document. And this document is actually a Google Doc. Everything that you do, that I did right now, is going to be Google Docs based. So you don't need to download anything or do anything. Okay, but what I want you to do is I want you to open a new browse window. So up here, there's a little tab here. You go ahead and open it. And what I want you to do is type this into the address bar here. So where it says address, the little search here, go ahead and type that in right here in the address bar right at the top. And let me get to it so that you guys can do it. I'll give you a couple minutes to just type it in. It's kind of easy, tinyurl.com/evergreen docs. And it's all one big word. No spaces. Does everybody get here? Yeah?
No.
Anybody having trouble still? Need the Evergreen Park? tinyurl.com/evergreen docs. Yeah? Okay, so we went over documents, which is the Microsoft Word equivalent, right? I'm going to actually jump down the list, okay, to Google Forms for a little bit, because this is something that Microsoft Office does not include in their software package, okay? So if you guys go here, what I want you guys to do, very simple, it's got a question, it says name, go ahead and put in your name, and then your Gmail account, the Gmail account that you're using right now, okay? And it's going to be your username at gmail.com.
Mine says you're not found. It's tinyurl.com at Evergreen Docs.
No, not at, no at,
Not
just Evergreen Docs. So make sure that you do that exactly how it says here. Evergreen Docs, no capitals.
Did you say we're putting our email address in?
Yes, please. And go ahead and click submit once it's done, please.
You were actually in the search. You were in the search.
Yeah, I did.
Gmail account and then click submit. Okay, so what you have just done is completed a Google form. Okay, this is something that I did right here. As soon as I got here, I started creating the Google form. It's a very simple form. I did it in like less than 5 minutes. While my colleague Mike was talking, I was doing that. I did this, all within 5 minutes. Okay? It's very important to understand that this is a time-saving thing. Now, when I created something, when I create a document, okay, any one of my docs, okay, I go here to the create button. Now, in order for you guys to create a Google form, now I don't want you to do this just yet, but again, you can do a presentation, which is like a PowerPoint, spreadsheet that is like Excel, or form. When you create a form, what you can do is you can go in here, and now you've got questions that people can ask. And this will, if you look down here, when you publish it to the web, this is web-based. You don't need to have a Gmail account to use it, okay? You can send this out and blast it out to, you send the link to all of your friends and collect maybe RSVP information. If you have a business and you want to collect certain statistical information on your clients, you can do it here. It's a very, very powerful tool, okay? Now, you create it, once you've created it, then you've got your sample question, and you've got different help text so that the question is not so big, okay? And then down here you have the different types of answering methods. Now, the one that I did was very simple, right? Because it's just text, okay? You also have, for example, and this is very big in schools. If you guys do this in school, it's really, really big. You can do paragraph text. Say you have to write a big, one big paragraph describing, summarize chapter 2 of, of Mice and Men. Okay? You can do it in a paragraph right there. You have a multiple choice. So say, for example, you're taking a multiple choice test. You can put, as a teacher, you'll put the answers to the question in here, and then when you send it out to the students, they can choose from the multiple choice. Okay? And if you try to select one, and then another one, say you change your mind, it'll deselect the first one. Okay? That's what multiple choice does. Okay? Here in checkboxes, it's similar to multiple choice. The only difference is there's more than one right answer. Okay? So select all that apply. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And again, you can fill this out however you want. Then you go into choose from a list. So this is a drop-down menu. It has an arrow like this one. You can download this. This is choose from a list, just right here within the question. Okay? And then you can put the different options that you can choose from down here. Okay? And again, in that instance, you can only choose one. You can create a scale from 1 to 10, say. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being lowest and 10 being highest, okay, or whatever. You can also do a grid. So let's say you've got 5 columns, okay, and each column is labeled something, and you've got 1 row, and that row is labeled something else. And basically what you do is you can make a different, whoever answers it can choose from that type of answer, okay? I won't really go into it so much because it's kind of, what I want to get to is how you collect that information. And this is the real cool part. Okay, so this is the form side of it, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to put that form. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to share it with myself really quickly. Basically what I did is
John Smith.
I'm going to have to share it with myself because I created it in my account and I didn't share it out. So I've got to share it really quick. Hopefully I spelled it correctly and it'll come to me really quick. Let's see what happened here. Oh, here it is. Evergreen Park Docs. Okay? So right there. And the information that you guys filled out in this form came to me in a spreadsheet form. Okay? So let me show you really quickly the different columns. Okay, dismiss that. Okay, different columns. First, it's got a timestamp. When did this person fill out the form and submit it? Okay, it's got a timestamp, the date, time, the name, which is one of the questions, right? And the Gmail account, which was another one of the questions. Gmail account. Okay, so now what I can do is I can take this and hopefully, if I do it 100% right, copy this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our, is this the EP library?
It should be, it's actually in the other account. I don't know if I shared it, so you can go down here to this, like you can see what I'm doing. And then you can, are you going to share it? This is the actual doc.
Right. I'll just share it from here, is that okay?
Yep.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, will it add the commas in there? Can I do it this way?
It'll work, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to copy and paste all of your emails. Oops, I didn't do it. Let me see if I can try to get this to work. One second, guys. Okay, so I am going to highlight this, right? Copy it. I just want you to see how easy this is to do. That should do it. Okay. Where am I? Okay, so I want to get this document and share it with all of you. Okay, but I don't want you guys to change any of the stuff that we did. I just want you to view it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add people. Right before I add any person, I'm just going to put can view. Okay, then I'm going to paste all of your email addresses. Now what it should do is now that I hit share and save, oh, it doesn't
there's
say.
no @ sign.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a typo, so I'll have to go.
So there's a
find
typo
that
in
one.
here now. I gotta go back in here and save it. Here it is. Nope. I don't see a typo.
Maybe it removed it.
Did it?
Go back.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
Is it 10@gmail.com?
Probably. Let's do at. Naughty, naughty. Now let's share it. Yes. Okay. Now you guys have full access. If you guys go into your drive, okay, and go to shared with me, you guys will
get an email too.
Yeah, you'll get an email. You'll get a document that says Evergreen Park Docs Training.
Try this. That's fine.
Oh,
Or
there.
the shared with me.
You guys see it?
Event reminder notification? No.
No, that shouldn't be it. Right in your Google Docs.
Now if we can share it.
That's what I shared, okay.
Right in your Google Docs where it says shared with me.
Oh,
That's what we shared with you.
Oh,
We shared. He collected your email addresses through a form, and then we used that to share our training outline that we gave to you on paper electronically, because there are links in there that you can click to go watch videos. One good reason is because we still have some time on it. We'll get to a broad overview of everything, but if you want to go back and look at it, you have access to this document.
Yes.
Is there a BCC option for
Yeah, we're
sharing
gonna do that
email?
now. And actually, the
BCC
forms
option,
kind of ties
Like
it
a
to
line,
Excel.
so you
Because when
don't
you use
like
a form, you
share
collect
with
data and
everyone,
puts
but
it into
you just have like
Excel.
your email that you're actually sending it to.
Well, when you send out a document, you cannot see any of the other collaborators. Can you see anybody else on
It
it?
appeared that everyone's email address showed up when I checked my email that I received.
I don't believe that it does.
I think it only sends it to you.
I saw it.
No, I see everybody.
Yeah, I see everybody too.
Do you really?
Mhm.
Okay. I think you'd have to do it individually.
I go in my shared docs and it's there. Did you email me that or did you?
It'll be in your
Just
email
10 other
too.
viewers.
Well, this is my email. It didn't come in.
Well, if you got it as an email, that's just a notification, okay? It'll do two things, right? When I click share, it'll send you the document into your Google Drive, and what it'll do is it'll send you email notifications so that you know that you got it. Yeah? Okay, and I think that BCC option, I think we may have to look into, because I don't know. That's the
I
email
don't
part.
remember. It might work different in the Google Apps version. I don't remember seeing that before.
Everybody's under the share.
Now we're all there. We're all looking at the same document, correct?
Correct. So now, if you look at in the corner there, in the corner of any document, you'll see who's actually looking at it. You've got the little squares with different colors on it. Yes.
Yep.
No,
See,
I
14
thought
viewers.
you were asking who's looking at it.
So, anybody not looking at it? Did everybody get it?
I
You
didn't
guys
put
able
my
to-
right email.
14 other viewers.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Did you not get it?
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
get it?
Shows everybody else that's looking.
Do me a favor, fill out that form again, and then we'll look.
Lucky Saturdays left.
Oh, have I?
Isn't that cool?
And
Now,
then it shows
everybody
me
in this-
the
You know
viewers
who's
as
on
well,
and
right?
who's left. Let's see.
It'll show you everybody that's in it,
Just
everybody's
open the
looking at it.
document.
Yeah. That's the very, very
Oh,
powerful
no.
collaboration tool that you've got with Google, that you don't really get much help. You get it in Google, and that's,
So
Where
you
the
wrote
power
a note, Mike just wrote a note, hello everyone.
Yep.
So this is a chat. It's not part of the document, but it's a way for us to collaborate. Like, hey, don't keep changing my budget estimate for next year.
I see. Here's a chat now.
There's a little chat window. So what you can do is you can just chat back and forth. It's not part of the document, but that way you can, say, hey, I'm going to work on this paragraph. Why don't you work on the conclusion? I'll work on the introduction. So it's just a way of kind of communicating. You could also pick up the phone and call, but if you don't want to do that.
Hey, there it is. Who's doing that?
How do you view that whole sequence of communication, because mine doesn't show?
You have to click on the arrow up here. See all the 17 other viewers? If you click on that arrow. Yeah. Okay.
Also, what I want to make sure reinforce, this is going to stay open for you guys. We'll keep these links alive, and again, just like before, we can edit this document. We're probably going to use it in other places, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to keep adding links to tutorials and things. So if we didn't get to it today, chances are you can look on this document and see different links to different tutorials that are either on the web, either videos or documents or websites or whatever. And we can just leave them up, and we'll leave them up for as long as we remember.
Okay, so we've done a big chunk of this already. We showed you forms. So far we've skipped presentations, spreadsheets, and drawings. I'm just going to tell you right now, drawings aren't all that exciting. So there's not a whole lot you can do with them, but you can use them if you want to. So we're going to put that to the very end just in case we don't get that far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover spreadsheets and then presentations in a little bit more of an expedited form. The good thing is all of the sharing features, all the collaboration features, what we did in Google Docs is going to be this almost, it's either identical or very close to being the same in the other applications. So we can skip over those parts because we've already covered them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my, bless you.
So those of you who didn't get it shared for whatever reason, we'll share it to you after this so you guys can see.
I'm going to go back to my Google Drive, and two things to notice that, like Adad said, when you created, let's just go ahead and use this one because it already exists. When I created the form, or Adad had created the form, all the data gets collected into a spreadsheet. And lucky us, because we're going to cover spreadsheets next. So if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, it's essentially the same thing. Things might look a little different. It might not have all the fancy high-end features like for a data analysis that you might have in Excel. It's going to have fewer of those functions, and I'll show you some of the ones that they do have. If you're not really that good at Excel, this is not the class to do that, but I'll just show you what is available to you. So the way I can create a new one by going to my drive, create spreadsheet. That will create a new one. I can click up here on the title, just like in Docs, and I can create a spreadsheet. I can do all the same things that I did before with sharing and comments, just like in Docs, exactly the same. Now, along the top here, something you'll see in all the other ones, I can star it, and I can click the folder, and I can organize it if I want to. So if I want to put it in this training folder, I can organize it by clicking on the little folder icon right at the top. So instead of going back to my docs to organize it later, I can do it right from this doc. So I'm going to put it in my training folder by selecting that. Here's a little trick. If you want to have this document show up in multiple places, I can control click and highlight any of the features by holding down the control. Now, what this would do is it would put a link essentially to this document in all of those folders that I selected. So that's kind of nice because I can, if I want to have it maybe in my test folder and in my training folder, I can control click on both of those and it'll show up in both places. I still only have one copy, but it'll show up in both locations. May not be useful for you. If it is, if you want to have it, it might clutter things up, but if you want to do it, you can. So, or I could create a new folder from down here if I needed to put it in a new folder. So I'm going to move it to these locations so I can find it later. I've got my toolbar, so file, basically the same as Google Docs. I can share, create new ones, make a copy. I can import data from other locations just like I can in Excel. I can see revision history, which we already covered. I can download this as an Excel document, as a PDF, as a web page, just like I can. Now, obviously, there's some changes. I can download it as Excel. I can't do that in a document because it's a different type. But so in this case, I can do it as Microsoft Excel instead of Microsoft Word. I can publish to the web. I can email collaborators. I can print, just like I can in documents. Edit, same thing. I have all the same editing features that I would have, or most of the same ones in Excel, and same as in documents. View, I can freeze columns and rows. You know, if you want columns and rows to always stay in your view, so as you scroll through a large document, if I want, I can just I can freeze row 1, and then notice as I scroll through the document, I always see row 1, even though I'm scrolling through. You can do that in Excel as well. If I want to remove that, I go back to view, and I can say no frozen rows. Now, I haven't found a way, I haven't found a way, I think you have a little more control with Excel where I could freeze certain rows and columns and kind of undo one or two of those at a time. It's sort of an all or nothing here with spreadsheets. So you lose a little bit of functionality. Maybe they'll change that in the future. I can, and then some of the other features that you have in Excel as far as protecting ranges and showing the formula bar. I can show all formulas somewhere in there that pops up. Insert, same thing. I can insert rows above and below. I can add new sheets. Notice at the bottom, just like in Excel, I have multiple sheets. So right now this is called sheet 1. I could rename it and I could call it 2012. And then from insert, I can insert a new sheet, and notice it pops in the bottom, and I can call that one 2013. So say I'm doing budget projections or something and I want to have different sheets just like in Excel.
You can't add to the toolbar.
Can't what?
Add to the toolbar?
You mean like customize the toolbar? No, you have very limited functionality. Excel does not have the 4,000 different analytical tools, or I should say spreadsheets, that Microsoft Excel does. If you're a high-level Microsoft Excel user and you're using all the financial tools that come with Excel, you're probably not going to find all of those in spreadsheets. Again, the power of spreadsheets, the power of documents are the collaboration and sharing tools, real-time online editing. It's not quite as powerful. So if you're an accountant, it might not work for you. However, you could use both tools. You could use, everything else in apps and only use Excel when you really needed to use it. So you can kind of have the best of both worlds. I can also add all kinds of things like a form. I can add a drawing right in here. I can import images. You can do different charts just like you can in Excel. So if you have data and you want to create a pie chart of, this is real nice. What's really nice about this is the form part that Adad showed you, because now I can collect data. So I can survey my customers, I can survey my employees, even my family members, like, hey, what are we going to do for, probably wouldn't do this, but what do we want to do for dinner, Saturday? I want to make a real nice meal or something like that. Create up a form, or maybe you're having a family reunion or something like that. You can collect data back, and then you can analyze it or manipulate it through the spreadsheet. That's the real I think the real thing that, as I always say, it's worth the price of admission. That's what I would take out of this if I were you with spreadsheets, is I can use forms, collect data, and then I can either get those email addresses, I could create a pie chart of people's responses. We do it a lot. I don't think we did it today. We should have done it, and maybe we'll email something out to you like an evaluation. So we'll create an evaluation and we'll send it to you with a link, and then you can go in there and evaluate us as presenters, and then that way we can look at it and say, okay, we need to, we did this really good, but we need to do a better job next time on this thing. So it's a tool that we can use to collect data.
One more thing, just anybody who's getting married. I've seen people send out invitations to parties or weddings or stuff like that, and they actually put the link on there for RSVP. RSVP at this. Instead of having a ton of different emails with a ton of different relatives saying, oh, I want chicken, I want lobster, I want whatever, you have a form that says, okay, name, whatever, just like before, and then you have a list maybe of, vegetarian or steak or, whatever, anything that you would want to RSVP on, and you can list them all, and then when they submit it, it'll come up in a really nice spreadsheet right here, and you can take that information, analyze it, say which ones, how many beef, how many, lobster, how many vegetarian, how many whatever, or, whatever you're going to do right there in one spreadsheet.
So you're importing from forms to spreadsheet.
Yep.
Right.
All your data is going to come right into a spreadsheet when you do forms.
Now, we can get really, really fancy with this and, start asking, well, depending on, what you eat, what other options are there? If there's going to be, red meat, then you want maybe this many different types of red wine. Maybe choose your favorite and you have a bunch of brands. You can get really, really fancy with it and have a whole bunch of things on it. But essentially what the really cool part about it is even if you have a really complicated form, all of that filters through into one big spreadsheet and everything is right there, easy to view.
I've used this to organize a conference. So send out the email to everybody, which presentations do you want to see? And I collect their email address, everything, and I collect all that information back. I'm able to then group people. Okay, 10 people want to see this one. Okay, we have to do 3 presentations because everybody wanted to see this one. So I was able to analyze all the data, figure out what presentations we're going to do, and I was able to set up a schedule, and I actually took it to the extreme and then use that Excel form, and this is advanced, but then I use the Excel form then to email the schedule back out to people. So I had them select 5 different options. What are your top 5 presentations you want to see? I then schedule them, with some help from a lot of people, into 3, because we're only doing 3 sections. So they picked their top 5. Most people got their top 3. I put that in the spreadsheet, then I use the spreadsheet actually to email that information back to them. So if you've ever done a mail merge in Office where you collect data in a spreadsheet and then email them through Outlook, you can do that. It's a more advanced feature, but you can definitely do that. I want to keep moving here. So under formatting, same sort of things. You can format numbers to make things look. So if you want things to be in currencies, you can do that, percentages, all the same sort of tools. Same thing with making things look. You can do conditional formatting. So if something is, if the cell contains, let's say you're looking for budget numbers and you're looking for things greater than a certain amount because you want to flag that. All my managers are asking for supplies. Anyone who asks for more than 100, I want that to be bold red in my spreadsheet because there's no way you're spending more than $100 on supplies. So you can think of all the different scenarios. So that's what conditional formatting is. It'll actually analyze your spreadsheet, and anything that meets your criteria, it will then change the text color or the background color. So that way, anyone greater than 100 is red, anyone less than 100 is green. So just quickly by looking at my spreadsheet, I can tell who I'm going to have a talk with or where I'm going to have to go in and adjust something before I send it over to my boss for approval. So that's conditional formatting.
Those of you who were in my Excel class, We went over this, if you remember, the conditional formatting where it changes the different colors and depending on what you enter. Okay, but Google, what it does by forms, it takes this one step further and says, okay, whatever answers you get, you can add conditional formatting to this column, and whoever answers this question a certain way, it'll come up red. It'll come up, it'll turn red, or it'll, be green, or whatever you put as a condition, it'll come up like that. Okay,
So-
automatically without you having to do anything.
If you want to make sure in your form that someone is complying with a date or a telephone or some certain format that, like in this case, the email, if we want to make sure that the email cells contains the ampersand sign, so that we don't, so at a glance we can tell, if someone maybe mistyped their email address, I can add that rule. I think I did that backwards. Oops. What I want to say does not contain. So I'm looking at email addresses. We know they all have to have the ampersand sign. Is that right? Did I say that right?
And the text, wait.
Well, I want
So the
does
text-
not contain.
Okay.
So right there. So if I have that rule in there, then I can see at a glance that, hey, if I'm cut and pasting these emails, I want to watch out for this one because there's something wrong with it. Okay, so that's conditional formatting. Moving right on, we go into data. We can sort things just like we can in Excel. There's pivot table reports, which we won't go into, data validation. All these things are, for a more advanced class. Once we do, has anyone used filters in Microsoft Excel? If you use filters, that is available. Of course, I need to have data. So what I can do is click on the filter icon. This isn't real good data to do that, but that gives me that ability then to go in and filter data by some criteria. So maybe I have departments. Okay, I got a maintenance department, I've got a HR department, I've got an admin department. So if my question is, what department are you in? Once I collect that data, I can then filter. I want to see everyone's response from the, HR department or the maintenance department. So I can do that here with filters. Under tools, you can see the various things. We're not going to talk about scripting. You can do a spell check. You can do solver. Again, some of these are higher advanced features. And then we have the help section, just like we did before. Now, along here, we have the toolbar, the exact same type of tools that apply to Excel. I can change numbers. Some of these, they're just shortcuts to what I've already showed you in the menus. Probably the one that I like and use the most here are the functions. So if I have a bunch of numbers, people are putting in their budgetary numbers, what I can do is I can highlight them and click the functions and do a sum, and it will sum them up for me real quick. And why didn't it do it?
I didn't do it. No, you have to highlight 1 through 5. Get rid of 5 first.
That's not
Now,
usually
1
the...
through 5 and do sum. So it's there.
No, it always adds one row to the bottom.
Oh.
It might not see these as numbers. Maybe I have a space in there or something like that. But you can see it's summing, so I could manually type that in there, or I can just use the feature over here. I use it all the time. I'm not sure what's going on. It must not be recognizing them as numbers for some reason. So let me try. Well, let's not spend too much time.
Refresh.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was thinking about it. We're so used to everything being so fast and instantaneous. So, but in this case, it probably would have refreshed on its own, but I just refreshed the page.
No, that's actually a very, very good point to kind of highlight. if anything were to go wrong as you're doing it, it saves as you go. So if anything, if you lose connection, if your computer gets hit by an asteroid or whatever, what'll happen is, since it's saved and it's saved online, you just go to the next computer, something that's working right, log in, continue working as if nothing happened.
And then along here you'll see that the most common functions, but they've actually added to the functions available. If you click more functions, it'll open up a web page and it will show you all the functions that are available to you. So it is not just a very simple product anymore. There are now financial functions in here as well. So what they've done over time is they started out with a very basic spreadsheet. It's more like a calculator almost, and now they've added to it to include all of these special functions, which again are beyond the scope of what we're doing here today. So that is spreadsheets in a nutshell. All this saving and sharing and everything, all the other features are exactly the same as we showed in documents. One thing I want to emphasize that we kind of covered before, when we were in my drive, let's say I have this training folder. When you share a folder, so if I shared a folder with everyone in the class, important thing to take away is everything I put in that folder automatically gets shared with you. So instead of, if I have 20 documents, instead of opening up every single one and sharing it with my team, I can create a folder and go to the folder and click share and add people at the folder level, and now everyone who I share that folder with, every time I put a new document, create a new document, or drag a document into that folder, is automatically shared with everyone on that folder. So that's just kind of a way of working smarter, and so that you don't have to go into 20 documents and share things. Nice thing about that too is a new person comes on your team, you go back to the folder and you add that person to the folder. You don't have to go into all the documents to add just that one person. But everything will go down to that person once you add them to the folder. You got to be careful with that though. If you want different people to have different rights, then what you have to do is make the most restrictive at the folder level. So everyone can view any documents I put in here, but if I want certain people to be able to edit those documents, then I go into that document itself and I edit that document so that certain individuals can edit it. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense.
Would you be able to restrict certain folders or certain documents to certain people?
Right, so what I do is I start most restrictive. I have add everybody at view only.
You couldn't even view it. That's it.
Well, then I wouldn't.
Like, you have a team member, but he has limited access to.
Yeah, then you don't put him in that folder. If you don't want any access, you don't put him in that folder at all.
Right.
If you want him to only have view access, you can do it two ways. You can add him to a folder where everyone can edit and go into each file and change him to view, or you can add everyone as view and go into each file and change it to edit for only the few people that should edit. So it depends on do which is ever the least amount of work. So make the least amount of changes. Okay, so
When you put information in a file, you don't have to save it?
you don't, everything is automatically saved. When you're working in a document, notice up here, last edit was 4 minutes ago.
Right.
If I make some changes, if I could spell, notice it says all changes saved in Drive, so almost instantaneously. Now, important thing to remember is if I'm working offline or I lose my internet connection, I'll get this little icon up here. When you see this, if you have Google Drive downloaded and installed on your computer, you can open up documents if you're offline, and you would see this icon.
And if you're offline, do you have to save it?
It will save it locally on your computer, so I could keep editing. Why can't I type? Oh, it's not letting me type, I guess because I'm offline. But I do know that actually if I went the other way, if I was offline and I opened a document from my Google Drive I would be able to edit it. And then once I got back online, it would sync up with the online version. So I think in this case, because I went the other way around, I think the computer's a little confused
Right.
because it got unplugged unexpectedly. Okay, I just want to go over, do we have a lot of PowerPoint users here? If you've used PowerPoint? So not too many PowerPoint.
I'd like to learn.
Yeah, well this is not a PowerPoint class, and we're out of...
That's out of February.
Oh, see? Perfect. So what I'm going to do in the 30 seconds we have left is I'm just going to show you the basics. So if you have used PowerPoint before, you can go in, create a new presentation, and then, you know, I get a lot, I don't want to say complaints, a lot of people say, you know what, I'm just going to use PowerPoint if I have it because it has more features. But if you don't have PowerPoint, or you want to use the sharing features, all the sharing options that we've showed you before, so I can collaborate with other people real time, maybe I'm willing to accept a few less features so that I can do this online with a lot of different people. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So again, everything looks pretty much the same in terms of I got my share button, comments, I got exactly the same files, except for now I can download it as a Microsoft PowerPoint if I want to, instead of a Word document or Excel like I did in the other things. So 90% of all of those things are the same in each application. It's just the specifics. So if I want to insert a new slide, I can do that. So now if you're used to PowerPoint, you can, it's going to look very familiar. You know, I can change things with slides. I can, you know, insert text boxes and images. If I want to pull an image in, if I have a camera, I can take a snapshot. So, you know, I have, oh, it's a live camera. Look at that. What a wonderful picture. So again, actually, when we do our presentations, we do this because we don't use a lot of the PowerPoints. You got to be careful, in my opinion. You can really bore your audience and put them to sleep if you have a very mundane PowerPoint. But sometimes that's the best way to deliver a message. I'm doing a budget proposal to a group. You know, I want to have 10 slides to go through all the charts, and you can pull everything together. The great thing about this is that you know, I can insert videos, I can insert links, images, word art, a lot of the same things you can do. If you want to get fancy, you can animate things. I know a lot of people like to add transitions and animations to make it a little more interesting. I don't like to overdo that because then people are overwhelmed and not paying attention to your information. So it's a good balance, but we have all the same tools here for formatting. You can arrange objects on your slide just as you could in PowerPoint.
Where'd you title that?
The presentation,
Yeah.
same place, right up here, upper left-hand corner. It's the exact same in all the applications.
Okay.
Yep. So. Okay, and I
The key
can.
here is just play.
Yep, and I can share it and come back for a Dodd's presentation. Are you doing PowerPoint, or is it Google presentations?
No,
It's PowerPoint.
Yeah.
But if you can do it in PowerPoint, you can do most of that in here. Again, the advantage is choose the tool. Do I need all the bells and whistles? Probably not. Or do I need the collaboration features? Or do I not own Microsoft PowerPoint and this is good enough? And which I think for most people, this is good enough. Now, if you're going out and doing a high-end business proposal, maybe you're going to do it in PowerPoint. But you have, the thing is, choose the tool that works best for you. You're not going to use a hammer to put a screw in. You're going to use a screwdriver. So you're always going to pick the tool that's best for you. So I would be happy, and I don't know about Adad, I don't want to speak for him, I'd be happy to stay and answer questions if you have specific questions. We spent a lot of time drilling into some of the details, especially on docs. We're going to, assuming that the recording comes out well, I'm a little bit worried about the microphone. It's a great microphone, but I wasn't getting a good level. But what we're going to do is we're going to compile that, upload that hopefully to YouTube or someplace where we can put it. So if you want to come back and watch it, we already gave you access to our help document, or that our agenda document, so you can kind of look back at what we covered. And we're going to, at some point, probably this weekend, send you a survey. If you would take a few minutes, it's going to be a simple Google form. Fill out the survey. We appreciate your honest feedback and comments. What would you like, or what could have been better maybe, or what would you like to see in the future, even that sort of thing. So we'll send that out to you along with the information on where to get the video. And so hopefully it's been informative for you, not too overwhelming. I know it's a lot of material to cover. The key thing to take away is the big picture. What can I really do with this? Because if you invest the time and effort into learning all the tools more specifically, you want to make sure if you're doing that it's going to work for what you want it to do. So hopefully you can at least take that away from it, even if you don't remember every click that we did. So I'm going to go ahead and 1 second stop the recording here.